Hello, everyone. I don't know if anybody's out there yet or not, but if you are, welcome. If not, I'll just sit here and wait on you to get here. We're going to set this up, so we're going to see what happens. Sit here and wait on you to get here. We're going to set this up, so we're going to see what happens. Sit here and wait on you to get here. We're going to set this up, so we're going to see what happens. Sit here and wait on you to get here. We're going to set this up, so we'll see what happens. Sit here and wait on you to get here. We're going to set this up, so we'll see what happens. Sit here and wait on you to get here. We're going to set this up, so we'll see what happens. Hello, Tim. I had to turn my cell phone down. Otherwise, you might have been getting some feedback, but let me make sure. Yep. All right. Hey, Sammy, welcome. Tim, Simply.net. Glad to see you all here. I hope everybody's doing well. So let me get this going. Hello, Mingay. How you doing? Uh, so I just want to say hi to everybody. Hey, Melanie, how you doing? I'm just making everybody a monitor now. Hey, Jerry, how's it going, man? Trying to get everybody in here. Excuse me here, folks. Getting over a cold. I don't know if you can tell by my voice or not. It is getting better. Mr. Edward D. Beck, Big Mac Daddy himself, is joining the stream. So how you doing, Big Mac Daddy?
Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Trying to stay out of trouble.
I invited a special guest to us tonight. I don't know whether he'll show up.
Well, who'd you invite?
Chris from Cebu.
Cool. That'd be great if he did.
I sent him an email. I said, "Hey, we'll be on 8 o'clock his time."
It
And
would be 8 o'clock Philippines time in the morning. 8 a.m. for them.
yeah, 8 a.m. Sunday morning. I told him, and
Yeah. All right.
maybe he'll come on with coffee. I don't know, or maybe he has time. He hasn't emailed me back, so I don't know.
You never know. Dan and Minnie's in the house.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Minnie. I know Jerry. I heard you talking to Jerry from Texas. Hi, Jerry. I haven't
Yeah,
talked to you in a
Jerry's
while.
here.
I've I can't see everybody's stuff when I come up on stage. So
I know. But so we got Min Gay, Sammy, Melanie, Sarah. We got a few coming in. Oh yeah, no wonder it's going wrong. All right, give me a minute, Dan. I'll get you up. Welcome to the program, sir.
dangerous, Dan the Coffee Man.
Is my mic working?
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is. I can hear you.
Okay, so all those technical issues yesterday. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. Your mic's a little low, but I can hear you.
What
It's
the
okay
heck?
for me.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, there. Well, Halfwit's here. I haven't seen Halfwit in a long time. How you doing, Halfwit?
I'm waiting for Retro to show up. He's always interesting.
Did you hear what who Big Mac Danny invited?
I
Dan?
invited Chris from Cebu.
We'll see if he shows up.
I sent him an email.
Am I getting any better sound?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's much better now.
You are wall to wall and treetop tall.
That's great, man. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on here. Hey guys, hey, Larry, you need to help me out, bro. Did we have a 100 peso winner yesterday on my live stream?
I don't remember because I know I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before you told somebody to DM you. If you
I
didn't
think
have
I
it,
forgot. I
if
think I
not,
forgot
you
to.
can pick one tonight. How's that?
Yeah, well, I got the attendees from yesterday, so I do apologize for signing off. I was getting a little hungry for that Bavarian cream donut. I had Bavarian cream in the brain, you know. I don't know if you've ever been there or not. But the winner from yesterday's live stream, Mabel Torres, I will send you out that 100 pesos right away.
I'm sure
Oh, my
Mobile
goodness.
will appreciate that.
Oh my goodness. I'm just struggling like some old man.
Well, that's because you are an old man.
Thank you so much for pointing that out.
Well, you know, all you got to do is turn around and say you're older than I am. I am older than you.
What's a couple years?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, if I call you an old man, then you can just turn around and point that out.
Yeah, what's a couple years amongst friends?
I used to feel young till I got sick. Now I feel everything.
Oh, you feel more than just your age.
Oh God.
Hey, did you guys see Ricky's stream where he had to go to the hospital because he had the burst appendix?
Yeah, I
No,
seen
I
that.
didn't see that.
Whoa, holy crap.
That's not something you really want to see. I mean, not
2
the video,
weeks.
as a person.
2 weeks in the hospital, the man should have died, I'm telling you.
Well, burst appendix can kill you.
He should have known about that long before it got to burst.
Is that the typical male thing, though, Mac Daddy?
He had to have.
The man waits forever before going to the hospital.
Well, that's me. I didn't see a doctor for 15 years, and now I'm paying for it.
Oh.
But I have lymphedema in my legs. They can't even get them to shrink down unless they wrap them, and as soon as they unwrap them, they blow back up again. I'm really paying for it, but you know, he should have had some kind of serious abdominal pain long before that appendix burst.
Oh, he did, but he thought it was food poisoning.
Yeah, but see, you shouldn't diagnose yourself. Any good doctor will tell you that.
Is that the same thing as never have yourself as a lawyer?
Well, you know what they say if you're a lawyer and you represent yourself.
Oh, that you have a fool for a lawyer.
Yeah, well, you have an asshole for a client.
Touche, my friend.
And I don't want to go there. I didn't want to be so vulgar, but you know, it's not my style.
Well, that's why I said fool. You have a fool for a client.
I had a problem with my legs, and I didn't do anything about it. And then when I finally did, they didn't do much about it. I didn't follow up with them like I should, and oh God, they're trying to get them to shrink, and they're having a hell of a time. And my therapist the other day, oh God, my regular therapist I go to an occupational therapist to get my legs wrapped with compressional bandages, trying to push this lymphedema fluid out of my legs. So the girl who normally does it, she's a really nice, caring, humanitarian type individual.
All
She
right,
was on
guys.
vacation.
Jerry's got a message here. He says he chatted with Chris and Samu earlier this week, and he watched Barry Jordan videos. The guy is getting ready to be deported back to the United States.
Chris is?
No, Barry Jordan.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
And
Chris is safe. He's married to a Filipina. Has
yeah.
been for years. I mean, I don't know if he finally. I know he was talking about getting the marriage visa, but I don't know if he ever did because they would leave, go somewhere once in a while. But when the pandemic came up, they might have switched it. Uh, that's what a few of them did. When looked like they might be stuck for a while, they applied for the marriage visa. Well, it doesn't really. Let's be honest about it. It doesn't really cost you a lot, but they thought, why pay anything? We can just leave every year and come back, and we get to do a little traveling. And are you,
it can cost you so much to be out of code in the Philippines. I know that.
To be what? Yeah,
out of code with the wrong papers. They fine you kind of heavy.
I got no papers.
Papers? We don't need no stinking papers.
That's right. I'm from LA. We don't need any papers.
Yeah. So I was going to tell you guys a minute ago. My regular therapist is on vacation. The one that filled in for her. Oh my God, she was so beautiful. I had butterflies.
You better not tell your girlfriend that.
She must have been Filipina.
No, she was an American, but blondie. Oh God, I'm sitting there. I got my leg hanging off the side of a bed, and it's in a wrap. And I says, "Well, I got to check something while you're wrapping it. I got to move my foot up and down to make sure I got ankle movement, or the wrap will be too tight." I didn't realize that my foot is sitting in her lap. I look down because I don't like to stare at these girls when they're wrapping me up. It's kind of, embarrassing almost. I look down my leg when I go to move my foot, I look down. Here I'm sitting with my foot just about between her beautiful, voluptuous breasts. And I'm trying to move it up and down without touching her. Oh my God. I could have turned red as a grape.
Oh my goodness. That's a beautiful thing right there.
And I know. And I asked her like once or twice, I said, "Can I do this?" Or like, "We ready to do this?" Because I don't want her to think I'm some kind of, degenerate. Just trying to grope her with my big toe. She was good about it, but
I thought you were I thought you had a foot fetish going on there, Mac Daddy.
My toes did. My toes were begging, "Come on, let us get it."
Yeah. That wasn't his toe talking.
You know what you need to do? You need to go to get a tattoo of a smiley face on your big toe.
I was thinking more like a.
Elvie, how you doing, Elvie?
I'll keep it a family channel here, but I was thinking more like a chocolate chip cookie somewhere else. God. I felt fortunate, though. I mean, these girls are so nice and so compassionate. She didn't believe my life story, though, I don't think. Because when I talk about who I used to be and what I used to do, it sounds like I'm bragging, but I used to just work for millionaires. I used to sell yachts and drive. I used to work for a guy who we went to the auction. We used to buy expensive cars every week. I bought Corvettes, Porsches, Rolls Royces, Mercedes, Lexus, all kinds of high-end cars. We used to buy Lincolns, a half a dozen at a time.
And by the way, folks, Tim said hi to everybody. Dan, Elvie said hi.
It's a shame there's not a lot of pleasure boats in the Philippines.
That's
That
true.
that water,
Well, actually, you'll find them at the yacht club in Manila Bay.
yeah. But I'm talking like, just like 30-foot express cruisers, stuff that costs about 150 grand in the United States, like I used to sell. Not talking like big mega yachts. I'm talking just stuff your day or weekend on.
They may have those in Manila.
Yeah.
That's where the money's at for boats.
Everything else is bamboo death traps, as I call 'em. And I guess they're
Well,
good boats too. You float what you got. But
well, you know, is it ocean safe is the only thing I would worry about. But
well, nothing's probably properly marked out there, and since a lot of it's reef, you really got to be careful. That's a great point, Larry, because you run
now,
in.
Elby, I hope you get better. I saw your post that you weren't going to have a live stream last night. I believe it was last night you were saying you weren't having a live stream because you weren't feeling well. So I hope you're feeling better. And as Jerry says, we wish you a speedy recovery.
I wonder where our friend Leonard is. He's usually here by now.
Well, I don't know. Sammy's here, so
Hi,
well,
Sammy. How you doing?
Jot was having a live stream, so he might be in Jack's. I noticed he had a live stream going. This is after 7:30, so I didn't really have time to go into his because I was fixing my supper because I don't eat till after I get home. And
I just had a nice dinner.
Where are the chickens feeding, Jerry? We got no
hey
chickens.
guys, I'm not gonna remove myself. I'm gonna go do so. I gotta take some medicine I forgot to take. So go ahead and talk about yourself. I'll be able to hear you, but I'm gonna be away from the mic.
Okay.
So we're planning on Mac Daddy. We're planning on doing the homemade pizza thing and today.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna give it another run.
Well,
Doing the whole yeast thing, putting it off to the side with the warm water and letting it do its thing. Yeah.
Let me give you some good advice.
Uh-huh.
Give
me lousy advice. I want lousy advice. I don't want my pizza to rise. How do I get how do I get a thin crust?
Well, you got to roll it out, but
yeah.
The big thing is give your dough plenty of time to work.
Okay.
Let it rise, knock it down, let it come up a second time. You really don't want to do much about it till you have a second rise going on. It just changes the texture of the dough. Don't be afraid to let it have some time to leaven.
All right. That sounds like good advice. That's solid advice.
And your dough should be soft. If it's too stiff, it's not good. It wants to be, soft and like spongy, like a tissue.
Ah, gotcha. Like your therapist's breast, right?
Oh,
you want it to be subtle and pliable.
Sweet and succulent.
No, his therapist's breasts were more like pillows. Come on.
Oh God, they were. I looked down. I was like, oh my God,
spectacular.
Yes,
Tim. They don't have real.
How you doing,
Tim? They don't have real Italian sausage here in the Philippines. We're not anywhere around here.
I can help you with that.
Every man repeats a story. Is here. Repeats a story.
Can I help you with that?
Repeats a story. The CEO of the Thornton Yacht Company is in the house.
Dan.
He's also got a Lonely Hearts Club going today.
Dan, you can make your own Italian sausage easy enough.
How do you do it?
There's recipes all over YouTube. The big thing in Italian sausage is a little bit of black pepper, garlic, some fennel seed. They're better if you roast them a little bit, not too hard, and break them up a little, grind them up so you get more flavor out of them. Even if you just like crush them with a hammer.
Oh,
We used to put them in a rag and crush them with a hammer a little bit, bang them, because it gives you that oil. I mean, Italian sausage, that's a big flavor is fennel.
hmm.
And
Now, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but Tim says there's also a good yacht club or marina in Olongapo, where the old
Oh,
Navy
no
base
kidding.
was.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's something to do when I come there.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, like
have
I said,
any.
well, Dan, you know that's where the old Navy base was.
I don't have a
Didn't you
lot
say
of
your
money to
boys
play
were
with yachts,
in
so
the Philippines?
Naomi, we're talking pizza. We're talking real pizza, not the stuff that they serve in the Philippines. We're talking we're not talking the pre-made shell and all that stuff with the fake sauce. We're talking the real deal here.
and a good way to get a good textured sauce. Do you have access to a blender or a food processor?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you can take some diced tomato and put in with like regular tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Like we used to make a tomato pizza sauce out of just tomato paste and water,
Mm-hmm.
and to get some nice tomato texture in it, we'd throw some either whole tomatoes or like a diced tomato in a blender or food processor,
Right.
and run that a
Hey,
little bit
I
to
wonder
get
if I
that.
should do a YouTube video on that, but I don't know, I'd be embarrassed if something goes wrong.
Well,
Something.
you can always rehearse it a time or two before you do a video.
Yeah, that's true. But
And your another thing you can add to your pizza dough. I don't know whether your recipe calls for any sugar
yeah, it does.
or honey or
Sugar
uh,
baby. Sugar baby.
yeah, malt syrup if you can get it, but that's hard to find in any
Oh
kind
my
of.
gosh, I don't know where you'd find malt anywhere.
Yeah, well,
No,
that's
yeah.
true.
You'd have to go into some specialty store in the United States even today to find malt, for crying out loud.
Jerry
I
says
can get
really
it.
great pizzas made in the Philippines cost under 90 pesos. Buy one, take one.
Buy one, take one for 90 pesos. Pineapple pizza. Yummy.
Pineapple and spam. Come on. Don't forget the spam.
Spam and pineapple. Spam and ham, ham and spam. Green pineapple and ham.
Hey, Ding. How you doing, sir? Now,
I like
I'll tell
fried
you
onion
guys
on
the
my
truth.
pizza.
I like spam. I just don't think it belongs on and pineapple. They just don't belong on pizza.
Mm.
I make the best ham with pineapple. I got a trick.
Ding and Everyman, if you guys want to drop your link, just type in LLL and my Nightbot will drop your link for you. So all you got to do, 3 L's. And,
Hey, there's nothing like being lonely and broke to get you motivated.
I own that club. That club belongs to me. Lonely and
I don't
broke.
know.
Right,
That's
every
me.
man. There's nothing like being
That's
being
me
old,
these days.
lonely and broke.
I'm lonely. I'm broke because I can't get out to sell all the shine with my feet being messed up.
Oh
I got real
man, I'm
problems.
telling you. Yeah.
My vision's going. I have a hard time right now, man. It's
Hey,
Well, I got
did
what
you?
I told you
Me
guys I had
too.
3
Me
bills
too.
I wanted to
Everything's
get paid
falling
off.
apart. Everything worked last year. All of a sudden, it no longer works.
But like I said, I told you I had 3 bills I want to be paid off. At the end of this month, I pay off one of them. It'll be paid.
that's a good
One of my
thing.
bills will be paid off at the end of this month.
I don't have
All right,
any debt
well,
like that.
the trick
not
is
worried about the other
don't
two.
encumber yourself in any more debt. That's the trick.
I do
No,
cash
because
for everything.
a lot of folks will take a breather. They'll go, "Oh man, I got that paid off. Time to go out and buy something else. Here I go.
No.
What do I want? Big screen TV set, 60
I
inches,
already
100
got a
inches.
big screen TV.
Ah, you got a big screen TV. Probably costs $1,000. Probably costs $2,000.
Oh no, I didn't
I
spend
got
that kind of money. I'm not that crazy.
I got 4 or 5 flat screen TVs in my house.
Do you?
Yeah,
The bigger, the
I got
better, my
bigger.
friend. The bigger, the better.
I got a 40. I think the biggest one I got is 43 inch. I didn't get real crazy.
Mine's a 50.
Yeah, I used to have a 55 at Brook, but
All right,
I
everybody,
thought about
take
getting
out
a larger
take out
one, but I thought,
take
no, I
out your
don't-
rulers. We're gonna measure our television sets.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
the truth.
Because honestly, I think mine's bigger.
I hope it is. Mine should be smaller. I mean,
You remember, you don't measure it the way you measure a cat's tail. You have to go diagonally.
Yeah, I know. You do that with all the TVs. You do that with your computer screens too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mark, you better get that checked out. If your prostate is growing, you can't have your prostate interfere with your love life. You have a young wife you have to take care of. Yeah.
Yahoo.
Talking about the devil earlier. And here he is.
Yeah, I felt
Speak
you.
of the devil, and he should appear. His ears were burning.
Yep,
Uh,
my ears were
that was
burning.
you at Jack's live stream?
I had the thing, a notification set. No, I forgot about it.
Oh, you just forgot.
Yeah, I forgot Jack's.
Well,
Rock
I
on in
was
Texas,
at work
this
and I
afternoon.
saw that he was live, but it was getting close to time for mine, so
Yeah.
I just forgot.
Cash
about
is
where
king,
you were at.
Tim. I just would like to respond to Tim's comment. Cash is king, my friend.
Yes, well, any way you got it.
Yep.
Well,
But you got to have that cash ready to go if you end up being like Rike and you end up getting appendicitis in the Philippines
Yep.
and you come within hours of death.
well, if you got loads of money, like some people, not me, but some people have it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anybody in the chat has it. I don't know. And you can get it to it easily, then you really don't need a credit card as long as you
Well,
can trust your girlfriend or
actually,
wife to get
That's
the money
not
to it.
true.
Yeah, I say you need one. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
a
too.
fair
I think
statement.
people need a credit card.
Yeah, you need
For
a
emergency.
debit card
Yes.
at least so that you can go pay
I
your
ride my car without a
upfront
credit card.
money. Yeah.
Now in the States, you can get by for medical emergencies without a credit card.
Oh,
Can't rent a
They'll
car.
take you to the hospital and they're going to treat you.
You know what
Can't
you're
rent a car
reminding me
without
of?
one.
Yeah. You know what you're reminding me of, Larry, is that I don't know why I'm making this. It's going to seem like a non sequitur, that doesn't go together with the conversation. But recently, I was reading this article that talked about how most people keep their wealth in their master bedroom, which is a very, very bad place to be keeping everything because most
I think
burglars
so.
know. Yeah, most burglars know that that's where the money is, right?
Right.
And so it says don't do that. It was an article suggesting that you keep it, you spread it around the house. If you're going to stockpile jewelry, money, and everything, you make it as hard and as difficult as possible for them to find by scattering it in each and every room of the house, if
Yeah,
you
give
can.
up the thing.
I'm having a hard time hearing. My earbuds went down to minimum. I'm trying to get them back up. So if I don't
got a
respond to
nickname
something
on the
because I
block.
didn't hear it.
My nickname on the block
I hate
is
the
the
way this
cheddar
thing
with the
works.
cheese.
Every man. This conversation is going south, so to speak, very quickly. Way down south, my friend.
Yep.
Listen, but I'll tell you what, if I were in the room with Jen, I'd be the first person bending over, most likely.
Trying to get something done here, guys. So bear with me.
Yeah, you bet. Go ahead, Larry. Hey, Nomi.
Free prostate checks.
Those are never fun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I had a female physician one time, right? And she's like, well, part of this deal is I'm gonna have to check everything out, right? So I'm like, Well, of course I want you to. I mean, you're a doctor. You don't play one on TV. You've probably seen way more stuff than I will ever encounter. So go ahead. Go ahead. Take a feel. Tell me what you feel in there.
Hey, Tim.
I mean, you got to get. I have no problem with it. I never have had any problem with stuff like that.
Well, it's
And
like my
Jerry?
therapist the other day.
Yeah.
The boob thing.
Yeah, you can't be
I'm a
shy.
guy. I'm a guy. If you've seen one, you got to see them all.
Right. Right. Exactly. Oh, you're talking feet, or you're talking the other thing? You
I'm
talking?
talking boobs. Yeah, come on, honey. Yeah, I seen one. I got to see them all.
Like I said, what would be cool is if you get a tattoo of a happy face tattooed right on the tip of your big toe. That would be fun. That would be hilarious.
That would
People would see that bad boy and they turn around and walk away.
Oh, God.
My goodness.
I have no ink. I'm a clean slate for the tattoo world.
Well, good, because I actually
I
think
don't
that
have
if
any
you're
either.
I don't have any either, but I don't plan on that being forever. I may actually get something. Little bunny rabbit.
I wanted to get one in the middle of my rear.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. A little bunny rabbit on my left cheek would go a long way.
I was going to get one on my left cheek, a little sign that said "Exit only."
That little thumper bunny rabbit from the movie Bambi. That would be exciting.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I wanted one that said "Exit only."
Oh well.
Yeah.
Words to live by, my friend. Words to live by.
Yep.
Yeah. And with an instruction manual. Oh my goodness.
All right, I got the volume back, thank God.
Thank God. You need to control us. You need to get us back under control.
Without going all into it, they were checking me into a prison one night. And the guy says, "Do you have any tattoos?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, if you do, we got to take pictures of it." I said, "Well, I got one on my left butt cheek that says exit only. You want a shot?"
Oh, I've known guys to get tattoos on their butts. One guy I know had M's tattooed, so he said when he bends over, it says "Mom." A couple guys I served with had propellers, like ship propellers,
Yeah.
tattooed on the butts. Had two of them said twin propelled. And we won't go into some of the other tattoos I know people got in other areas, even more private.
Yeah, there's one I heard about.
Spider webs and
Yeah, there was
those
one
people
I
are
heard
nuts.
about too.
I know people that did it when I was in
Yeah.
the Navy. Those people are idiots. And now I have a couple. I have a tattoo. I'm not against tattoos.
Well, no, you were in the Navy and stuff, so
Yeah.
that was kind of a rite of passage for you.
Well, my older brother never got one. He was in the Navy too, so not everybody got one.
Well, I know they don't all, but I know a lot of guys do.
Well, my tattoo is an old cutter style ship that's got a setting sun in the back. 4 flowers for the 4 different countries I've been to. There's 5 birds for each port of call I was at, and it says "Homeward Bound" below the ocean and above the flowers. And there was 3 of us that got that tattoo. My other 2 buddies got it on the right arm. I got it on my left. And I got it on my second Westpacker. Otherwise, there probably would have only been 4 birds. Would have to have another bird added. But that's what they said for the 4 flowers or for the 4 countries.
Hey,
the 5
Jerry.
birds are for the
Hey,
4 calls.
but Jerry, is he being deported? What's going on with Barry? Is he being deported? By the way, Larry, I have a question about the tattoos and your buddies.
Go ahead.
Have you ever had a reunion where you all get together and then you roll up your sleeves and take a picture of the tats?
No, Chris is still out in San Diego, and I've lost all track of Bama. Now we called him Bama. He was from Alabama, outside of Huntsville. He's some little small town. He said he was so far out in the sticks they had to pump sunlight into him. And he was still in when I left that area, but he was really messing up. Got himself thrown in the brig. So I don't know if he ended up getting kicked out or what, but yeah, he was starting to screw up his life. He started running around with this one lady, and I use the term "lady" weak, loosely, I should say. And when he started running around with her, that's when he really started getting in trouble. And before that, he was doing pretty good.
I had a deli on the street that had like 10 tattoo parlors. And so I had everybody coming in to buy food from me all the time. And they just really had some amazing ink, let me tell you.
Well,
Pictures and portraits and scenic backgrounds. And, oh my God, the stuff I've seen in tattoo is just absolutely amazing.
Well, Chris and I both of us got our tattoos in Hong Kong. I can't remember the name of the tattoo parlor, but it was above Bottoms Up Bar. Now, the Bottoms Up Bar, their sign would have a woman standing up, and then she'd bend over and say "Bottoms Up." Now, Bama, and like I said, I'm not going to use his real name. That's just what we call him. Now, Bama, he got his tattoo on the cruise after that, which Chris and I were both already off the ship, but he got it because he was good friends with us. And like I said, then him and Summer come back, and we were running around. And then he started, like I said, running around with this girl. And like I said, the term "lady" would be a very loose term, in my opinion. But you live and you learn. And like I said, he started missing ship, going UA and not missing ship moving, but it'd be UA, and which is unauthorized absent. And the other branches, a lot of them call it AWOL, but which is absence without leave. The Navy just says UA, unauthorized absence. Same thing, just different terminology.
Hey, if you're absent and then your ship goes out to sea, how do you get back on the ship?
That's called missing ship movement.
Yeah.
I am guilty of that. I've done that.
They put you on a helicopter and fly you out?
No. What happened? We were in the Philippines, and when we left the ship, it was a Saturday, it was a Sunday. And we were told, once you got the word to return to the ship, you had 24 hours to get back to the ship. So it's Sunday afternoon. Well, I got to be back Monday morning. So when they say, you need to go back to your ship, it's like, I'm going to be back for that 24 hours up anyway. Who cares? And there was like, I'm on a ship of about 1,000, and there was like 200 of us missed the ship movement.
Oh.
What happened?
When it's that many people, they just sort of forget about it, right? Just forget about it.
Oh, yeah, they forgot about it.
I mean, because otherwise the captain of the ship is going to get in trouble, right? I mean,
he got in trouble anyway.
Yeah.
He did. He got in trouble anyway.
I would think so.
He got in trouble because they wanted
communication error.
Well, for pulling out of base, they wanted to know why he left. There was guys that I was talking to. We were, after the ship left, we had to stay on base, and we were assigned barracks to stay in for temporary housing until the ship got back. And we're sitting around talking. And a couple of guys said, "Well, we got back, and as we're walking up, the ship's pulling out, and the gangplank is dropping into the ocean because they just take off." And I mean, I guess they took off like 6 hours after they gave the word to get back. And like I said, we were told 24 hours. And I guess after they were out there for a while, the admiral in that area, the 7th, and he got a hold of it, wanted to know what the heck he was doing out to sea. I came back on base, the next morning, and my ship is a fair sized ship. Back in those days, it would be about the size of a cruise ship, not today's cruise ships, but the older cruise ship back in the 70s. And I come back, and there's a tin can setting where my ship was at. A tin can's not even half the size of my ship, okay? And so I go walking up, and I look up the tin can, and the guys on the quarterdeck, which is where you go on board and request permission to come on board. I looked up at them, and I yelled out, "My ship shrunk!" And they just crack up laughing. So I go on board, report who I am and what I was doing there. And I asked them to put it into their logs that, hey, I was here at the time I was supposed to, before the time I had to be here. I didn't want to get in any trouble because I showed up.
Yeah, you got to document it.
And so then I asked them, I said, where should I go, to report? And they told me, and there was another guy from my ship showed up. So we grabbed a cab and went to where they told us to go to report in. And then we spent the night there. Now, some of the guys went out that night, but my money was on the ship, and I didn't feel like borrowing any money. So I thought, that's a good night to sleep in and get a good night's rest.
Yeah.
What I did.
Yeah, look at this. Farm Girl is in the house.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Farm Girl, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Her name is Junacelle. Is her first name, I believe. And so, Farm Girl, welcome. This is the first time she's been here for a while.
I don't think I've ever seen her.
Well, she's been here once or twice. I happen to belong to her channel. I don't go in as much as I should, probably, but I do go in.
Let me see if I'm signed up with Farm Girl.
Yeah. I thought that was your first name, Farm Girl. I got it written down because I can't remember how to spell it.
Whoa, okay. There you
Are
go.
you signed up with him?
I am now.
Okay. Now, Farm Girl, of the four of us here, Dan, and it's got a channel, Dan and Minnie's. Leonard's got a channel, but he almost never puts anything up anymore. Big Mac, do you have a channel?
No, not yet.
That's what I thought. So you
I'm
already
just a
belong to mine.
board.
I said,
Well, congratulations, Farm Girl.
Well, shoot. I was going to sign up for her, but I can't.
why not?
Well, it doesn't even show my name. When I go back to YouTube, it doesn't even show my name at the bottom. It says say anything, but it doesn't have my name.
You probably got signed out some kind of way.
Well, see what happens if I hit sign in. There
So
we
Farm
go.
Girl's channel, I just noticed that we're about the same size in subscribership, and also
You're
we're
both
getting about
larger
the
than
same
me.
views. Yeah, 200 views to
now it's
500 or
working.
600 views. So I'm gonna have to go in there. I'm gonna have to spend some time
Hey,
in
Deval
Farm
Don,
Girl's
how you
channel.
doing, man? Long time.
Hey, Val Don, what's that? How's that song go?
What's that dress do you have on? Or that song? Something like that.
What's
A
that?
long time since
flower you
Delta
have?
Dawn. Delta Dawn.
That's Tanya Tucker music.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact words, but that is Tanya Tucker.
It's what that
That
flower
is-
you have on.
That
Is that
sounds
what?
Hey,
right.
Farm Girl,
Could it be a painted rose from time
you
going
gotta
by?
grow that food.
Okay,
You gotta
yeah.
grow that food, Farm Girl. The coming global superstorm and food shortage is gonna hit the Philippines.
Well, I'm putting all my food in this week, tomorrow.
Are you?
I even
Hey,
got
I'm gonna
roasted.
do a video. Our crops are coming up.
Thank you,
I'm
Farm
so
Girl, for
excited.
coming by.
You should grow lofta for the Philippines.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I've got. I've
And,
already
and
eaten
bushel gourds.
some of the output. We have these vegetables that kind of look like kale. They came up with that. They put in a soup. It was delicious. It's spectacular. I never thought vegetables could taste so good.
You should
Well,
go
there goes your
Loofta.
diet.
Oh, kale, my
Loofta is
friend.
gorgeous.
Kale.
Kale's bad stuff.
It's not good for you, Leonard.
No, it's too many oxalates and lectins.
How come they're trying to sell us that kale is good for us?
The same reason they're trying to tell you that everything else like that's good for you.
Hey,
That
by the
actually
way,
spoils you.
we got that cucumber like vegetable coming up too. The one that it climbs like ivy.
Oh,
and then
everything in that family climbs like ivy.
yeah, and it
Are you
spreads
talking
out
about
and
the-
then it grows.
I got
these,
Loofta. Loofta
You
cannot
talking
be
about
bad for
bitter
you.
gourd? You talking
Looks
about
like
bitter gourd
cucumbers.
or bitter
You mean bitter melon?
bill melon?
Is that
bitter
what it
melon.
is? It's like this, very thick.
I
That
got-
sounds like a-
It gets long.
that sounds like a
and-
zucchini.
I got
Looks like a
Loofta,
zucchini kind of thing,
which is
very juicy.
a gourd sponge. It's a natural sponge.
What's it called?
Loofta.
I don't know that one.
Looffa. Loofah. You grow it and it becomes a natural sponge.
Oh, loofah. Okay.
Yeah, when you loofah, I guess this. When you peel it.
That's how I've heard it pronounced. But anyway, okay.
You're right. I got bushel gourds too. They grow
Why-
it grows
why-
a container the size of a bushel.
Yeah. Why are you growing that stuff?
Why not?
Can't really eat it, can you?
Well,
Now,
If
me
you're
and
gonna-
Anita
all the
is telling
you,
everybody
you
hi,
scared me,
guys.
Leonard. You told me all the vegetables I wanted to grow were bad for me, so I went to stuff that I don't have to eat.
Oh, okay.
Thank you,
Well,
Farm
that's
Girl. We
true.
appreciate it.
I got
Farm Girl
ladle
says her channel's
gourds,
gonna
I
be
got-
watching us all.
I got
But-
snake gourds.
Hey, but see, there is a dilemma here, sort of. Especially if you're trying keto, I'm better off doing the eating once a day plan. But if you go keto, right, you're eating chicken and pork all the time here, and they only prepare it one way, or one of two ways. The
Adobo.
pork always gets barbecued, and the same with the chicken. And the chicken, although they'll roast it sometimes, right? When you go over to Mang Inasal, you'll have roasted chicken. I mean, I'm getting so tired of eating that food. And there's that kid Kees from Thailand. His real name is Adam, and he's going to be in the Philippines the next few weeks. And he was saying that. I mean, he admitted it in front of God and everybody. He basically said the food in the Philippines is not spectacular.
No, I've always heard that the food in Thailand is a lot better.
Yeah, if you're
Oh,
gonna
it
compare
is.
to some-
I mean, it is really spectacular food in Thailand. That's one of the things that I miss. You come
Yeah.
over here, and I'm just so disappointed, But I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Eat vegetables. I know
Well,
Leonard
see,
says nothing, but eat
But
vegetables.
Leonard is saying, see, here's the whole thing. I have thought about that. I thought about eating only vegetables for my one meal a day, and they are delicious. I have to agree with Jerry.
That's vegan. That's vegan.
Dinuguan is delicious. I've had it. I like it. I like Dinuguan. It's very, very yummy.
Dan, what you can do is make 80% of your diet out of animal products, and the other 20% out of vegetables that are less bad for you.
Yeah, but
What about
Leonard,
egg
we
white?
only have two animals here. We got pig, and then we have baby pig.
Well, I know you can
Now-
get
now,
beef.
if
I know
you're
you can
watching-
get beef.
Beef is not as common to come by as you might think.
No, I understand
They
that.
also got
Yeah.
turkey. If you look around, they have turkey.
What about carabao?
I'm
Oh
told
my
that's
gosh.
not good to eat.
Carabao is horrible to eat.
Oh, is it?
Well,
Yeah.
the biggest reason for it is
'Cause
because
they're
they
always
use those
ancient.
animals. The
Yeah.
only way you're going to get to eat one is if it drops over dead
Oh, forget that.
or broke a leg or something. But they're old.
Tim, look at
You're
Tim.
not
You
going to
know,
get one
Tim,
at the
you
proper
should
time.
talk. You're skinny as a rail.
What
Come
about
on,
like
Tim.
tuna? Can't you get some good reef fish?
The which?
What
Well,
reef fish? Like tuna,
you know
like
what?
red snapper,
You know what bothers me about the tuna and
grouper.
stuff like
The
that. So
froze,
here's
Ed.
you guys tell me if this bothers you or not,
Yeah,
all right?
actually,
Because it
everybody
bothers
froze.
me. So here's what shows up at the market, right? Baby tuna, and then every time I see it, I just cry.
Why?
You know, because this is one of the reasons why you have overfishing in the Philippines. They don't allow the juveniles to become full adults.
Well, the
So they
problem
can't-
with the full adult tuna, they're born as babies in the Philippines, but they leave.
Mhm.
They go out off into the Pacific and off into the Atlantic coast and everything when they're monsters.
I got you.
They're not
You
in the
at least
Philippines.
need to-
The
you at
bad thing
least
about go
they
ahead,
need
Dan.
to grow. They need to grow, and I have seen them pull. I've seen them pull some big ass tuna out of the ocean here.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can get some monsters.
I've seen
Uh,
some monster yellowfin here.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the thing is that they're so desperate for food here, you know, for fish that they
They kill
overfish.
everything.
And the fish are this big. They're tiny
Well,
little creatures.
yeah, a lot of the problem is China's coming in and just trying to completely rape the whole fishery.
China's
Well,
over
exactly.
fishing.
And so, but China's only one part of the problem. Honestly,
China's a large part because they're coming
Well,
in and just overfishing it.
well, we're the ones
Intentionally.
overfishing it. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not really China. China is going to take their fair share. but-
If China wasn't there,
The Japanese.
the Japanese are probably doing some too. But if China wasn't there overfishing the fisheries, the Philippines couldn't fish enough to herd it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I'll have
It's
to do
everybody
research.
else, though. You're right, Leonard. It's a
I have no answer. I have no comeback.
It's
to
a
that.
collective thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's everybody.
And the
if
biggest
you look
problem
for-
with go ahead, Dan, Larry. I'm sorry.
The thing is, when they show the Chinese fishing fleet, you ought to see how large they are.
Right.
I mean, they come in with a massive number of boats and overfish one area.
And
they're
what
doing
they
it
don't
in the
overfish,
Philippines.
they
I'm
buy.
sure
Sure, overfishing by the
Absolutely.
Chinese is a problem, but really,
Yes.
that's not really why the United States is there. You guys know that.
No,
Well, no, that
we're not
doesn't have
there for
anything
that
to do
reason,
with that.
Yeah.
But I'm just
But-
saying that the Chinese are overfishing the Filipino waters. They come in with
And
a
they're
massive
intentionally doing it.
fleet of, and they're doing it intentionally, yeah. A massive fleet of fishing boats.
Yeah, but you miss
They're
out on
claiming
something,
this is our
Larry.
water, you know.
Yep.
Larry, you miss out on something.
What's
If
that?
they're not overfishing, they're buying all the fish up they can possibly buy as well.
Well, that
So-
too.
One way or the other, they wind up with them all. Like salmon from Alaska is primarily sold to the Chinese, processed in the fillets. We get the fillets back in America, and they keep the rest of the fish. And they're
Well,
just
the only part you want is
they're
the
out of
fillets
hand.
anyway.
well,
I don't need the tail and I don't want the head.
I'm going to tell you the truth now. If you're talking about the salmon, I don't care to have any of it.
that's
Well,
I
fine.
can eat it. I
you
just
don't
don't
like
care
fish.
for it.
Right.
No, I like tuna.
Yeah. The thing with tuna is the great big ones, like, they are a predator fish. They eat all of the small fish,
Hello,
Yes.
Dell. Welcome.
and the majority of the big tuna that they and see the big tuna and the other fish like that. I can't remember the name, but
Yeah, but how big? Marlin, tuna?
well, they aren't harvesting marlin for commercial reasons.
Sure they
Jerry, as you know, we love roadkill here. We'll make soup out of anything
Yeah.
lying on the road.
do.
Are you saying
Leonard,
the
here's
Philippines are
something.
related to the Beverly Hillbillies?
Here's something that you don't consider about tuna, Leonard. Not all tuna get to be 600 to 1,000 pounds.
Well, no, they
even by
don't.
species.
But the
What?
big ones like that, are very high in mercury.
Yes. Well, you got blue tuna, you got yellowfin, you got big eye, you got one that tastes terrible, yet the Chinese and everything love to eat them. In America, we throw them back. We throw all the skipjack you catch back in the ocean, and they take them.
Yeah.
Albacore never get much bigger than a football, yet they overfish the hell out of them too. If it's tuna, man, it's just taken.
Yep.
Doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter anything. You got one, you strip it out of the ocean as best you legally can, or take it anyhow if you can.
Yeah. Well, I've
It's
watched a couple of live
Good
streams
night,
where
Jerry. Take care, man.
Bye,
family-
Jerry. Have a nice sleep.
Hey, see ya, Jerry. Be careful. The family owned fishing boats, and they actually got to go out, or went out on the fishing boats while they were fishing, and got to see what they were harvesting and how they were doing it.
oh sure.
But that's not how the Chinese do it. They do
Bill
a
says
great
he
big.
loves Jessica Albacore.
What's that?
Well, they do the purse
Dale
string.
says
net.
he goes, I love Jessica Albacore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got silent, eerily silent all of a sudden.
Well, I'm just thinking, I was going to let her finish this thought, but they just pull everything they can with these big purse thingies that,
Yep.
they run the sack around and they tighten up the bottom and pull the whole net in and they take everything.
Yep.
The Chinese
Dolphins,
don't have no
porpoises.
bycatch. They keep everything they take.
Yep. They take the dolphins and the porpoise and everything else.
Yeah, they don't care. They take everything.
Yep.
And it's not the way to do it, but the Americans don't have the best way either. We take
But
way
we
too
try
much.
not to get to dolphins or porpoises.
Well,
I
yeah,
say
but
the way to do this, the way to save it, the way to save the planet
All right, Tim.
is to come up with fake protein that looks kind of like a fish.
they already have it. We need
That
a
sounds
5-year
appetizing. That
we
sounds
need a
very
5-year
appetizing. Yum
fishing
yum.
moratorium on a lot of things.
Well,
And we're
that
not
would probably
gonna get it.
help. No, they're not going to get it, but that would probably help.
Like
But
fluke in America, they keep all the big fluke, but all the big fluke are females. They let you take the little ones, and they're the males. You don't need the males; you need the females.
Grow fish in a lab. But I do like the way. So when you fly over into Manila, one thing I do like seeing that I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but when you fly over Manila, you can see the fishing farms as you fly over them.
There's problems with the fish farms too.
Yeah, the fish farms are bad because they feed the fish crap, and they don't get what they're supposed to get. So
And
they're
they
not
use
developed properly.
They use a pesticide as a preservative in the fish chow. They
Yep.
feed them sand eels from the Black Sea, which are high in mercury and other pollutants. I mean, there's a ton of problems with fish farms. They allow the fish waste to over pollute the nets, and the fish have like giant cysts and sores on them. It's just horrible.
Yep.
Shipping lanes are the reason why the United States are in the Philippines.
More than that.
Yeah, it's
and
By the way, Dale,
and they're becoming the number
Charles lives a
one
long time.
consumer country in the world right now.
Who?
They're actually the Philippines. They're actually helping China by recreating the market that we have in the United States in the Philippines. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And so really they're making it out as though we have a conflict with China, because that is what drives the money. Them pouring my tax dollars into protecting Taiwan is one of the things that is the great storytelling thing that's going on right now. They have to open up different markets for China so they can continue manufacturing plastic spatulas that people will buy.
Well, it's more than that. Taiwan
Yeah.
is now making 80% of the computer chips in the world,
And that's the
and
other part of it.
we used to make 40% of them in the United
But
States.
China's
now
the
we only make
consumer
like
of the
7%.
majority of them, and so there's no threat. In other words,
Yeah, but we consume a lot of their chips too.
so you have
Yeah.
to go back. You have to go back and you have
Well,
to look at what
the-
happened in
The
Hong
Chips
Kong.
Act. The Chips Act will get a lot of that production back home.
You remember in Hong Kong where everybody, everybody was getting terrified, and they started going into San Francisco and then buying up all the real estate because they realized they were going to have an option to move away from China. Well, they still could, and so they were setting up homes in the United States. So we had one of those biggest influx of immigration from China during that period of time. And it turns out that the Chinese are more capitalist than the Americans are. And so everybody stays. In other words, they go, oops, I invested all this money in San Francisco in the condo, and now we find out that the Chinese are embracing capitalism. They're not going to go over to Taiwan and upset the cookie cart. All that is fantasy, in my opinion.
Well, they've been talking about trying to take it back over for
they want to take it back.
It's easier. It's just easier to go in there and make an armistice type agreement, saying that, hey, we like money, we like greenbacks as much as anybody else does. So I mean,
what they want to do, what China wants to do with Taiwan is what they did with Hong Kong.
It's what they
want
did
to
with
be
Hong
over the
Kong.
government. They want to be over the government, and Taiwan doesn't want them to be in charge of their government.
They don't want it. But they're stifling their own economy. I mean, quite frankly, Taiwan is its own worst enemy, in my opinion.
I've been to Hong Kong before it was went to China, and it was a great place to go. So was Taiwan. And I've been to China, Beijing. I'm going to tell you something now. You travel China, gorgeous country, but man, talk about pollution. There is pollution everywhere in China. And just like probably we were back in the 30s and 40s, all right?
The Chinese have built cities they haven't even moved into. And some of the buildings, because they're built such substandard, they got stucco over bamboo, and they're literally just rotting and falling down.
Well, that's how they can build. That's how they can build those big buildings in 5 days.
Well, you go to China, the cities that have been there for a while, Beijing, Zhengzhou, and a few others. That's got a few million people that are highly industrialized. It's like LA when it needs the rain to clear out the smog.
Yeah,
it's that polluted. You look at the rivers and they don't look that clean.
Well, LA pollution has been pretty much cleaned up. I mean, if you
they have no EPA.
If you grew up there like I did, then you go back to visit, you'll see that they've done a great job in cleaning it up.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. This is the way they are. They're behind us.
Yeah,
and
they don't want to clean it up, Larry.
I think they do, but
it costs money.
Their educational system was so far behind that a lot of people out in the provinces, especially, it's like in the Philippines, they just throw trash everywhere or anywhere. And
wow, the vinegar and salt chips, Del Grady, that does sound yummy.
Vinegar and salt chips, they are good.
I haven't had any chips in a long time, and those do sound good.
Yeah,
I haven't had chips in a long time either, but yeah.
Well, salt and vinegar, that's Pennsylvania Dutch.
Monroe, how you doing?
Life in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's Monroe. Hey. He's back.
That's what we put on French fries, the Pennsylvania Dutch. But apple cider vinegar and salt. That's where that came from. But of course, the potato chip came out of New York, but it was adopted by the Dutch like overnight.
Well, the regular potato chip actually came from, although we call them French fries, but the chip was
that came from England.
It came from England and The fish and chips is actually chips.
Oh, you're thinking of
Fries.
a cottage fry, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
talking a potato chip.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
talking about the regular thin potato chips,
It was
like
invented by
Lay's
a
and
black
stuff.
cook in New York that had a lady who wanted her French fries extra crispy. She took a razor blade and sliced potatoes so thin, fried them up, and served them, and they became a staple of the resort.
Yeah. Well, that's like
And
buffalo. That crew. That's like buffalo wings. The
yes,
place that made it famous. I'm not saying they're the first one to do it because I don't know. But Buffalo Wings is named after,
a bar.
the Anchor Bar is the one that claims it, that they were the first
Yeah,
in Buffalo. There's another bar in Buffalo, I can't remember its name, tries to claim they were first. But that's how they got the name Buffalo Wings instead of just hot wings. It came from Buffalo.
yeah.
It's where they're famous for, and it just blew up.
I remember back in the day in the '80s, we didn't even know what buffalo wings were. We were trying to cook wings on a broiler
Yeah.
and serve them with hot sauce and stuff, and
Yeah.
then the buffalo wing just took over. It
Oh
changed
yeah.
the chicken business.
Oh yeah.
Wings are worth more than chicken breast.
Yeah. And especially around January,
Well,
February
the
time.
football season.
Or the
Yep.
playoffs,
Playoffs.
especially
Yep.
the playoffs.
Well, Philadelphia Eagles wings. We used to wings. Chicken wings were so big in Philadelphia at
Hey,
one point. We
what
used
is
to
Hey,
have
going
Super
on?
Sammy, how
Bowl
are you?
weekend. We used to have the Wing Bowl.
What's
And
going on in Texas
Sam's
right
back
now?
saying Sammy's back saying hi to everybody.
Hey,
Yep.
hey, what's
I
going on in
said
Texas right now? I just got an alert about some mall shooting.
there was a mass shooting at a mall.
What the
When
hell?
did that happen? Today?
Yeah, somebody went in with an AR-15. There was a police officer on call for another call at the mall. He
Yeah.
encountered the shooter and killed him. But the shooter still got to go on for a while with that AR-15 before the officer could neutralize him. So there's a lot of carnage once
I haven't
again.
seen. I guess I haven't seen the news since.
But I'll tell you what, don't worry about it. Because in Texas, you're allowed to walk down the street with two AR-15s and all the bullets you can carry, and you're allowed to walk through the mall if you want.
I
For the
think you're
most part, yeah.
exaggerating there just a little bit there, buddy. You
What?
can carry a gun, but I don't think you can walk around with an AR-15.
Yes, you can, Larry.
Actually, you probably can.
Yes,
Oh
you
yeah,
can, Larry. You
I
don't know
knew
what
you
you're
could walk
talking
around a
about.
gun. I didn't know you could with an AR-15. I
The
knew it was a pistol.
Republicans in Texas decided you should be able to do that. Not the
You,
Democrats. The Democrats are against it.
yeah, the Democrats are the only ones that want to restrict
They
gun
want to
use,
control the guns.
and
Yep.
that's one of my biggest complaints about the
Hey,
Democrats.
hey, guys, you know what? Sess is in the chat, and I gotta say, I have
Hey,
yet.
Yes,
Seth.
I just
You know, you guys know how I'm gonna do that new lip pointing video, and I've gotten
Yes.
about 15 or 20 um, YouTubers to send me the lip pointing videos, but I'm
Oh,
kind of like
I
shy.
can't wait to see Seth.
Yeah, well, see, I haven't asked Sess yet. You know,
Oh.
I don't know why, but
Did I just mess you up?
yeah, I was going to send her a message today to see if she would be interested in sending me a video that she takes of herself lip pointing. Most of the videos that have come in, they're absolutely marvelous. The creativity that's involved there is just it blows me away. So I really
Isn't that
appreciate
the one that used to do Seth Style or something videos?
no. Seth Style was a guy.
Oh,
This
okay.
is Seth Travels is a female, and they spelled Seth differently as well.
Okay.
Seth
I
Style
didn't
spelled
know.
an S something SYZ or something like that, and Seth it's her name
Hey,
is
Pacquiao Murph,
CESS.
how are you?
Did you guys see the
Mertz is
message I
here.
put up on the screen for Sammy?
Oh,
She just hit 8,000. She wanted to thank everybody.
all right, Sammy. Congrats.
That's a lot of subscribers.
Yep. Yep, that is a lot.
I wanted to make sure everybody saw that.
Oh, thanks, Larry. I'm glad you did.
That is a good accomplishment.
Yep.
Actually, a great accomplishment. So, I mean, that's almost, 15 times more than I have? Well, 10 times would be 5,000, a little over.
Yep.
So, it's about 15.
Well, I don't even think I have 300. So, but if I
Last
put
time I
up,
looked, go ahead.
I was gonna say if I put up a few more videos, it'll help.
The last time I looked, I had 520. But you know how that is. I go up and I go down. So
Yeah.
I was up to 521, but it was down to 520. So it could be down again. I don't know. But it overall keeps going up. So that's the main thing. And I'm happy that it does. Yeah, Sammy. Leonard needs to upload some more videos. Short videos. Do short ones. Dan will tell you the
Mine
short
are all
ones really
short.
help.
Mine are all short.
Yeah, but I meant do them as short.
Leonard.
I'm serious. They're like 2 or 3 minutes long.
Yeah, but the short is like a minute or less.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And you use your camera like this. You put them up as short, and people will watch almost all of them. So it really helps your hours. I don't do enough shorts. I should do more. I did 2 shorts this week. One didn't do that well. That was the second one. The first one got over 200 hits. Helped me out quite a bit.
I got to walk into my woods across the street. I got a native trout stream over there. It looks like the cover of Field and Stream. And I could just go for a walk to the right or to the left. And you'd think I went to a whole new wilderness.
All right, Sammy.
I know I could get a lot of video with that.
Now Leonard says 1 minute. Like I said, I've seen people do it for like 30-some seconds.
Yeah, mine are short. They're not.
Mine are 15 seconds.
Yeah. And like I said, you do 30 seconds or so, they will watch all of it. And if they enjoy it, a lot of people will watch it. And the people that just want to check it out will watch almost all of it. If it's less than a minute.
One that short, they'll probably watch the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I said. So that really increases your
yes, Sammy,
your visibility.
I have to. Thank you.
Your viewership. All that kind of stuff.
I could do videos on trout fishing, like fly fishing and everything. Oh my God.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I have, I'd only have to walk 100 feet one way or the other, and it looks totally different. I got pools, rapids, hidden logs. I got all kinds of stuff to rip trout out of there.
Like I said, once your legs are better.
What kind of trout you got there?
They're native Pennsylvania brown trout.
Oh, browns?
They're native trout are always browns in Pennsylvania because they're in the woods.
Well,
but what I'm saying is, though, when you
I thought they might be brooks.
Get better, when you get better, what you do is you put up
brown trout. Video. They got yellow speckles on them. I'd have to pull one out to show you.
Yeah.
Put it up as a lifestyle video.
Yeah.
You could do your trout and you could do your cooking.
Yeah.
Most of the trout that you catch over there are in the 20-inch range too. They're good size.
That's good eating size there.
Oh, they're the best. I don't take them out to eat them because if I started pulling them out to eat, there would be no trout in no time, so to speak. Well, the stream's not that big, and these things get out aggressive.
Sammy wrote to you, Dan?
What's that?
Sammy wrote, "KU Dan, chin up."
Oh yeah, I was sending Seth a copy of that last lip pointing video. I'm kind of hoping I can talk her into, doing one, so that I can add her to the next YouTube video. So.
Leonard, I have a trout across the street. I probably caught it 5 times last year.
But hey, I'm late. I'm late for my next appointment, which is You know what I'm
it's,
headed.
it's still early for that appointment. You know better.
Yeah,
than
so
that.
I gotta skedaddle. I really have enjoyed being here today, guys. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Good luck with your pizza.
Yes,
No,
thank
no.
you.
Good
Thank
luck with
you.
your donut. That's where
That
he wants
donut,
you.
exactly.
Yep. I think he's fallen. I think he's fallen off his diet.
Yeah,
I got to get him to go from pizza to Stromboli.
That'd be good though.
Yeah, God, I'm having a problem with my diet.
I don't know. I'll stay down here, but do it like this.
All that bacon I ate attacked me. I had to cut back on the bacon, but I still got a lot of beef still floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you got to do what you enjoy, and like I said, when you decide to do your channel, put it as a lifestyle channel or a fishing outdoor channel, or so and do
Bend Creek Chronicles.
yeah.
Chronicles of Ed.
Big Mac Netty's life.
Yep.
Well, I got this little island in the middle of this stream. If I jump out on it, I got like a nice set of rapids on one side, and if I fish the other side of the island, it's got pools, like where the
All right, Sammy, enjoy your laundry.
like where the tree
All right,
roots is
Sammy, have
washed
fun.
out.
She said she's going to be in the background now. She's doing laundry.
I got pools that are like 4 or 5 feet deep. If I stand in them, they're like up to my chest. And it's different methods of trout fishing, really.
Right.
There's one place you use a fly and let it float down the rapid. The other place, we just throw a little worm in there and like twitch them on the bottom every now and then, and they just come out from nowhere and nail it.
Yep. That stream probably hasn't been fished much.
It's fished a lot, believe it or not. But
Really?
a couple years ago when I got here, they pulled too many fish out. The guy and his friend down the street were eating them like every weekend, like they were the buffet. And
all right, Dan, Minnie, you guys have a good one. Enjoy your donut and coffee, Dan.
Yep.
What happened was after you pulled out like more than a dozen fish, the stream was noticeably hit.
Yeah.
So my son went down the street on opening day of trout at the other creek, mile down the road, and he caught a bunch and brought them back. And we put them in over there.
Did your own stocking, huh?
Well, we stocked it. We restocked the creek, and since they're grown locally, they're kind of native fish still.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, the rainbows disappeared. They can't survive it. But the brown trout and the brook trout survive it.
That is surprising because rainbow's a real hardy fish.
I think they all went downstream. I don't, or
No, they might have done that.
They might have got eaten. I don't know. But only the brown trout really survive in the woods. I didn't believe it when I got here, but after stocking the rainbows, we never catch one. So where'd they go?
Yeah, they either went up or downstream.
They went south because upstream's a dam and a lake. This is an old like steel area. They used to, between the two mountains, mine the steel ore.
Oh yeah.
And they moved the creek over like from where it used to be 50, 60 feet, and that's where it's at now. At the edge of like one of the mountains on the bottom. Yep. It's morel mushroom season too.
Oh yeah, it is.
And do you know what ramps are?
Which?
Ramps. RAMPS.
Not off the top of my head.
It is a wild onion leek that I have so many across the street. They're supposedly worth like $25 a pound to the steakhouses in the springtime. I could sell them a couple £100 and not even put a dent in it. There's so many there.
Sounds like a plan.
We also have ginseng.
Yeah, I've heard there was ginseng up in that area.
Oh, there's tons of ginseng. There's May apples. I don't eat them either. They're
I'm
hard.
not sure what they are.
When you're talking about the morels mushrooms,
Yeah.
back home in Indiana, if you find a good place, you don't tell anybody, and you can sell them because especially to older people,
Oh,
Yeah.
they're $10
they'll
a
gladly
pound.
buy them because they can't get out there.
I
Yep.
have I have Ram's Head mushrooms too that were over there last year, and a good
I'm not familiar with that one.
golden Ram's Heads. They're golden. They look like little horns, and they grow in a big cluster.
Okay.
I have a lot of wild mushrooms in this forest across the street, and some of them are worth up to like $100 a pound.
Wow.
Like I said, you find a morel as big as this. This is a 20-ounce pop bottle, and the news stations will put it on, hold it next to the pop bottle, showing, oh, so and so found one. This is the size, and
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, they cut all the cherry trees along the pole line on my property
Oh yeah.
for the electric company, and they just left them laying there. I could go up and drill holes in these cherry trees and hammer in wood plugs after I seeded them with spore, and I could grow like shiitake mushrooms right on my land.
Yeah. I thought you were
And
going to say morels, but they grow on the ground.
well, yeah, morels grow in the ground, shiitakes grow above the ground. Morels like apple trees and poplar trees,
Yeah.
and I don't have that on my land. I got cherry trees.
They also like larch, western larch trees.
Yeah,
Because back home we used to get a lot of morels.
I have uh, I have cherry veneer trees on my land. They wanted to buy them at one point. I got to look back into it. I only have an acre and a half of property. They wanted to give the previous owner $5,000 for the cherry trees, but they can take up to 3 years to harvest them. They pay you half up front and half when they harvest them usually.
well,
So,
cherry's a good wood.
Yeah.
oh, my cherry trees are 2 feet across and 50, 60 feet tall.
Like I said, it's a good wood though.
Yeah.
Well,
Talking about the mushrooms, it reminds me of an old joke. A lot of people used to say, they said it came from Kentucky, whether it did or not, I'm not sure. They say you take two people from every state, put them inside the Indianapolis 500, and how do you pick out the Hoosier? Hoosier's a person from Indiana, in case you don't know.
Yeah.
He's the one dribbling a basketball around the racing track looking for mushrooms.
well,
That's how you find Hoosiers.
my cherry trees are really the thing that they're the right size to cut for veneer.
Yeah, we used to have a veneer plant there out there about 3 miles from maybe 5 miles from my mom's house.
They cut them and boil them somehow, and then like shave the veneer off the log.
Yeah.
It's a process, but
Yeah.
Pennsylvania is famous for hardwood trees and forestry. We're one of the number one states for sustainable forestry. There's a lot of cool things here.
Yeah.
Of course, where I live, if I go one way, I got Hershey. If I go the other way, I got Heinz 57. I got Mallow Cup in the middle. Reese's was in the middle at one point. All the potato chip companies are leaving though. They're just folding up. And the pretzel companies. You guys have pretzels in Texas?
I don't know if they make them here or not. They sell them, of course, but I don't know if they make them.
Pennsylvania used to have like 50 pretzel companies at one time. I think we're down to like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Same thing with potato chip companies. They're just closing up and disappearing.
Well, their business is all being taken over by big corporations.
Yeah, Hers, Frito-Lay.
Kellogg.
Yes. Kraft Foods.
I thought
Yeah.
Kellogg's was in Michigan. Well, I know
Battle
it used to be
Creek,
anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
Kellogg's
might be,
got their
but-
hand in everything.
But yeah, they're in
I was
about all kinds of food, and they're
gonna say
also
Kellogg's was cereal. One of the, at least a couple of the cereal companies was in Michigan.
well, I'm
I had
sure
a
that's
friend that
true.
I
Their
had a
main
friend
office
whose
might be there
brother
too.
was
Battle
worked at
Creek,
one of those
Michigan.
places.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatchamacallit, Hershey Foods, you wouldn't believe it. They're huge in pasta. They make just about every pasta in the pasta aisle at the supermarket.
You brought that up before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
it's
talking
worth
about
mentioning.
that. Did you see where somebody dumped like 500 pounds or gallons of pasta in the woods there in New Jersey?
No, I didn't see that one.
No, I didn't
Oh
either.
yeah. They show a big old pile of pasta out along some creek. Somebody dumped it. They don't know who did it,
Wow.
and they were one of the. It was one of the Fox. I don't a Fox or one of the Meads. Mead to the left. So that made one of the New Jersey neighbors mad. They showed Governor Christie. He said he's going to get even with them.
You can get in a lot of trouble for dumping anything in a waterway, though.
Well, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know. That wasn't actually in the waterway. It's along the bank, so it's
Uh,
right by the waterway. And no, it
Still,
depends on what state. It depends on what state you're in.
That's true too.
yeah.
I mean, you can dump ashes in Indiana in a public waterway. You can dump human ashes in it. That's legal.
I think you can do that most places, but
There's some states you can't, but in Indiana you can.
I don't know about that. Every place I've ever heard of, you could, but
My younger brother, like I said, my younger brother was cremated, and they took some of his ashes, dumped it in the creeks and rivers that were close to home where he used to fish. A friend of his had a friend who ran a golf course. They dumped some of his ashes in one of the sand traps and mixed it in with the sand. And my little sister took some of it to the ocean and dumped it in the ocean.
got him spread around good.
Yeah, but well, he didn't want to be buried. He wanted to be cremated, and he wanted to be dumped in the waterway if he could on a golf course.
Yeah.
He got his wish.
Yep.
That's what he wanted.
Well,
I don't want to be
that's-
buried.
that's-
I'd rather be cremated.
I'm leaning that way myself.
When you think about it, all right, especially me, I have no children, all right? Now, my nephews and great nephews, the ones I know, and my niece and great niece, might visit my grave site, depending on where I'm buried at, because my nieces are back in Indiana, my nephew's out here in New York. They might visit for a few years after I'm dead. But then it's just a body laying there in a grave.
You got to look at the statistics. After 20 years, most grave sites are no longer visited.
That's what I'm saying. So
Well, yeah.
why pay that much money?
I'm surprised it's even 20 years.
I
But
am too.
Well, it just goes down
at
and
that
down.
point, right? At that point, I don't think we'll care.
Right.
That's why I'm saying, what do I want to pay all that money for a piece of land, some kind of wood casket or plastic, whatever kind of casket you buy, and then, I mean, because you're paying a typical traditional funeral here in the United States can run you anywhere from what 6,000 to 15,000, depending on where you live.
Yeah, they're saying
And that's not even counting the grave. That's not even counting the gravesite.
yeah, well, I didn't know that, but
I don't
I've
think it's
heard
got
I've
the
been
gravesite.
hearing 9,000 or 10,000 all the time.
Yeah.
Well, you can
that might
spend
be why
4,000 or
it says
5,000 just to be cremated.
it's a lot less to be cremated than
Yeah.
it is to be buried. A whole lot less.
Yeah. Now,
My
you can
father
get-
was
you can be cremated for $350 a lot of places.
my father was
Over $1,000
cremated earlier this year.
Yeah.
And he has a headstone, and he's buried over my grandparents' grave.
Yeah, but see, he was buried.
Yeah.
Cremation itself didn't cost much.
Right. Well, his headstone he spent a fortune for.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
See,
my brother didn't
like-
buy a
like you say.
headstone. He didn't buy an urn. He didn't buy a grave site.
And
Cremated
since my
spread.
Since
If
my
you get-
father was nice enough to leave me nothing, I want to get out and take a sledgehammer to his gravestone.
Don't let anybody catch you.
Well, I told my brother how it was because my brother kind of stole everything
Yeah.
and made sure he got left everything. And I told him he's lucky he's interned with my beloved grandparents. And my brother said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because grass would never grow on his grave." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Roundup's only $10 a gallon."
Yep.
But I'm losing my bitterness as time goes on. I just let it go, but
Yep.
I was done wrong. I was the
I
only one in
feel
my
that way about my
family.
grandmother, so on my mom's side.
I was the only one left in my family to raise myself in the streets from the age of 14. 12 years old, my
Deborah, how
father
you doing,
basically
Deborah?
left.
Deborah Ora is here.
Well, hi, Deborah.
We got to talk about the Philippines, though. We got to get there.
Yep. Whether it's just for a visit to meet somebody that we're already talking to, or to move.
Well, I would like to bring my girlfriend here to the States.
Yeah, I know that's what your plan is, but
I
you'll
don't
have
know.
to meet her there.
For him, it's best if he does because if she's here for 5 years, gets the citizenship, all right, and they get married. Now, let's say he decides to retire,
Yeah.
he can get Social Security on her. Now, see, if we go over there and get married, we're not getting Social Security on our wives unless they're U.S. citizens.
Right.
It's not
I
going to
got a
happen.
problem, though, Larry.
What's that?
My problem is with my health the way it is right now, I would have a hard time going to the Philippines for more than a week.
Well, I
Yeah.
understand, but I'm just saying, though, if you can
And-
bring her over here, whether you go over there or not, if she can come over here,
Well, you have to go there and meet her. Well, you
I
don't
got
have
to
to go
go
there
there
and
and
meet her.
meet her.
You have to
I
meet her
should-
somewhere.
I should
Next
go
time
there
meet
and
somewhere
marry her.
else.
Is the easiest way for me to bring her here because
It's not.
it takes longer.
It takes longer, and it's not the easiest.
Well, that's yes and no.
No,
And I'll
just
tell you,
no.
well, I'll tell you why it's easier for me. Because of my limited income, I can bring her to the States with less shown income if I'm already married. It takes longer to do, but they
Well,
can only keep her out for so long. They gotta let her in. If I bring her back on,
there may be something to that.
if I got to bring her in on a fiance visa to
You
bring
gotta
her
show
in, I need 21,000, and to bring her kids in, I need another.
I don't know where you're getting that figure, because
What?
that's nowhere near the kind of money I was looking at.
You got to have 21,000 in income to show
Well,
that you
yeah,
can
yeah,
support.
okay. Now, okay, I understand that.
Now, if I bring her two kids in, I got to show like 32,000
Right, it's so much
in
for each one
income.
over the initial one.
Right,
Right.
to bring the family in and show that I
Right.
can support the family that I'm bringing in. But if
Right.
I go over
Yeah.
and marry her in the Philippines, I don't have to show as much income, even though it takes longer to do, because I can get her an overseas worker green card status somehow, as long as we can pre-qualify for her for a job before she gets here, and she can come in with her kids much easier.
Yeah.
This is what Balanced Immigration told me, and they're the experts. And I can guarantee her a job because I have organizations that told me that they would do that for me.
Oh, that's one thing about some of these organizations. They're very good at helping.
Yeah.
I'm talking my friend who owns a florist. I'm talking my social club. They would give her a job as a janitor, and she'd have to do the job, clean our club, but somebody does it.
Right.
And she gets paid for it.
And it can't be that bad.
Right? Oh no, it's not. It's just a regular bar club. There's a couple bathrooms, but they're not like atrocious. It's a really nice place.
Well, normally, if it's an actual club, a good club, the clientele, the club members, usually treat the place with a lot more respect than some dive bar.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We're as nice as any like VFW or
That's what I
you
said.
know
Most of those
Polish
places
Falcons, Hibernians,
treat the
Moose
place
Club.
better. Like
Yeah.
I go to the American when I go home, I go to the American Legion. Now I'm just drinking soda because I don't drink and drive. But when I'm there, you can tell that the members of the American Legion, even if they're drunk, they act better than if
Right.
you go to a dive.
Yeah, you get those clubs like that. Those
And our
social clubs or
bathrooms are
whatever.
really real. I mean, I know that like you go to dive bars and they got dive bathrooms. Our
Right.
bathrooms are really nice in our club. Not
Yep.
bragging about them, but you know they're nothing exceptional, but they are nice.
I'll be right back.
All
Sure.
right. Well, like I said, though, my best friend from my high school days, one of the few friends I've had for more than 50 years. All right. Matter of fact, we've known each other for almost 60 years. And but anyway, I go home. I know his wife and him, and I don't know his kids that well, but I do know his kids a little bit because they grew up mostly after I moved out here, so that's why I don't know his kids that well. But I go in, and my friend runs the American Legion. He's the American Legion manager, president, or whatever the heck he is. He's the one in charge. He's the one in charge of payroll, ordering the booze and all, getting the entertainment set up when they have entertainment.
He's a GM. He's a general manager.
Yeah, basically. But
I got to tell you too, some of those organizations that hire a club manager or a general manager, that could be a very good job to have.
I don't know if he gets paid much for doing it. I really don't know because he is a member.
Well, my club, our members, I'm an overseeing auditor, and I get paid just to look at the books, and I got to attend 11 out of 12 meetings or 10 out of 12 meetings a year it is now, and I get paid $200 a year to do that.
Like I said, I don't know what he gets. It's none of my business. He's retired.
Our bar manager gets $30,000 a year.
Yeah. But he was a factory manager. No, he wasn't, a VP or anything, but he was a manager or a foreman or whatever you want to call him. He did that for years, and he retired from that. Started doing. He did this because some people that were doing it, I guess, they didn't care for the way they were doing it, so they got him to do it.
The girl
He's got his own office.
The girl who manages the Polish Falcons down the street from our club, she's the lead cook in the club and the manager. Then they have a bar manager too. She gets like 20 or 25,000 a year to run the kitchen, and she has another cook or two helper that work part time. And she only works a 40-hour week, but she makes a decent living.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, like I said, he doesn't do any cooking. He orders. He's getting everything stocked, and if anybody needs anything,
he's the general manager.
Basically, yeah.
That's the general manager. That's his job. And like I was saying, those positions can be decent positions to have.
Yep.
Like I said, he just took over because it wasn't being run right, and it's not like they can vote him out the next year. It's like on a yearly basis for a year, from my understanding.
We have.
So if somebody wants to do it his place, they can put their name in, and then the members vote.
Well, we have an overseeing board.
Yeah.
That does everything. There's 8 or 9 of us. Then we have, like, out of the 8 or 9, 4 of us are trustees. And then we have our paid, bartenders and manager.
Yeah, they got bartenders and
that the board hired. And we're not don't think that our club doesn't make money. We got $140,000 in the bank, and we give away probably $3,000 or $4,000 at least every month to charity because we have to by our state
so I know they make money, but like I said, I don't know if they invest it back into entertainment or what they do.
No, they have
But
to give
they,
it away, Gar. I'll tell you that right now. That even with
yeah,
the
but what I'm
entertainment,
saying, they can put it back into entertainment for the club. Like, let's have free food and for all the members. Let's have we'll hire these bands and pay them. So you're spending the money, so you're not making as much. But
yeah,
you're
but you're not spending. We do
I
all
don't
that
know.
too. I can only
It's a
tell you
small.
if I could look at their bill run. We do all that too, and we still make money.
Like I said, they're not. Whenever I've been in there, they're usually not that crowded.
We make $10,000 a month in gambling alone.
Well, you don't gamble here.
We have games of chance gambling. We got
I don't.
machines and we got little card runs, and that's
I don't believe
relatively
that's
new to
allowed. I
Pennsylvania.
don't believe that's allowed in Indiana. I've not seen it.
Sure, and I can understand that. But even with our bar, we make like $8,000 or $10,000 a month with that. So we consistently make like somewhere in the mid 20s every month. And that's for club maintenance, paying the employees, buying the supplies,
Yeah. Well, like I
everything
said,
we do.
I know he's basically a manager because, like I said, he's the one that sets up the schedules for the bartenders and the host, the waitresses or whatever.
I'll tell you one thing: when we make too much money, it's good for the community because we give much more away
Yeah.
because we can't keep it. So, like Little League season's coming up, so we'll buy the kids their outfits and their hats, their T-shirts. We donate to our local miners park because we
Yeah.
were a mining community. They needed $4,000 worth of electrical work last year. We donated $1,200. So it's little money that goes everywhere. We donate to the SPCA. We've helped families out with funerals when people have died or people with cancer. And
Oh yeah. I'm sure that they have something that'll help out, especially the members. I worked at
yeah,
one of the factories as a guard, and that I was working there when they finally ended up shutting the place down. But they had Bibles that they would give to members family who the member passed away,
sure.
one of the retirees, and they had the regular Christian Bible. They had the Catholic Bible, which had the Pope's picture on the front of it. Really nice Bibles. And when they shut down, they shut down and moved out of my hometown. I was given one of the Bibles. I ended up giving it to somebody else that was starting a family.
We give
The next
thousands.
one in the family.
We give thousands of dollars sometimes to towards people's funeral or final expenses, but we're not allowed to give we're not allowed to donate directly to individuals.
Yeah.
But we certainly do our part in our community, which is a good thing. All of our local clubs do in this little town called Wimber.
Yeah. When
Thank you.
you think about it, by sponsoring a little league team, you're helping the community. You give the kids something to do.
The cheerleaders for the local high school get money. The soccer clubs, this club, that club. We just did a big thing with literacy. They
Yeah.
had a thing where they give low-income children books every month.
That's
So
a good thing.
Yeah, we sponsored 10 positions in that. It's just you would not believe how much charity our little organization does, and we vote on it. If you're local and closer to our
That's the
club,
way it
you get
should
money.
be. I mean, if it's your club, you should have a say on how the money's being spent.
Yeah,
Now,
but we
it
don't
may not go the way
donate
you
stuff,
want because majority rules.
right? But we don't donate stuff 2 and 3 counties away. If you're a veterans
Well,
organization in our general vicinity, you get money from us.
Yeah.
Things like that. I mean, you're almost guaranteed something.
Well, like I said, all right, let's say you're in a small community, you got a lot of veterans, and you got a lot of money. Maybe you could sponsor a ride for the veteran to the VA and back.
Yes, we sponsor things like that, General.
Yeah, that's
But
what I said. You know, so you're
we
not.
had a
It's not
lady in our community that had to go to Pittsburgh quite often for treatment, and she, she was
medical
able to drive herself,
transportation.
but we gave her gas cards.
Yeah, like I said, but like I said, also pay for transportation if they can't afford it.
Well, that's
Not,
what we did. We gave her gas cards. We gave her the local gas station in our like convenience store in our neighborhood. They were giving her $200 a month in gas, so she could put gas in her car to go get her treatments. Things like that. Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's
Most
there's
of
a
those
lot of
clubs
money.
like that do that.
yeah, it's a nice organization to be able to do stuff like that. That's my point. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I said, a lot of the clubs that they look for charity work for local, usually local, which makes sense. I mean, you're local, so you want to help local people, local community events. Uh, sometimes people will go out and uh, spruce up a ballpark or a park for all the kids.
Yeah.
I've seen where they've gone out and
We
the
donated rubber fire
storage
hydrants
shed
to
was.
the dog park.
Well, I'm just saying. I've seen where a storage shed at a ballpark was destroyed, and a group went in and rebuilt a storage shed, and some other people helped resupply it.
A
Yeah.
dozen dog kennels burnt down at the Women's Humane Society. We gave them $2,000 towards their reconstruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
right.
yes. That's
The
what you.
Philippines. We're not allowed to do charity to the Philippines. They frown
No.
on it. You wouldn't believe.
Well, we can do it, but we can't do it as individuals. We have to find a charity that's there, that's run by the Philippines
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Filipino people, and donate money to them.
Well,
Uh,
like
I don't know what all the hoops you'd have to jump through to
yeah.
do it, but it
Well,
can't.
I know
It's like
I know Dan donates school supplies to at least one of the schools,
yeah,
and so do a couple other people I know over there.
yeah. Well, like I said, he's not doing much vlogging now, but there was a guy called Tito Tip, and Tito, I guess, means uncle, and he's in Iloilo.
Oh yeah, Tito is
His
an
wife,
uncle in Spanish.
yeah. But anyway, they call him. His channel was Tito Tip, and like I said, his wife is from that area, and she actually lives outside of Iloilo, but her family is. But they lived outside, and then they lived in Iloilo both. But they would get supplies. His family, his daughter and stuff would send him, and other people would send him book supplies and crayons and
Bud Brown used
there's
to
that
give
milk
out
brands.
flip
Yeah,
flops.
Yeah,
Bob Brown.
yeah, he
He
gave
did
out.
that all the time. He
Yeah.
even donated.
Yeah,
He even donated school supplies to the local barangay a couple
right,
times because
right.
he had viewers would send him stuff, and he would always give it out.
He
Yeah.
got a wedding dress one time and gave it to a barangay captain, and he was saying all kinds of women were borrowing that dress to get married in it,
Yeah.
which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, speaking about married, check out Gio in the Philippines. He just put out a video about he just proposed and they're getting married. And he tells us about all the hoops you got to go through to get married over here.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you another good one for that
And
is
you're not gonna do it in a week.
No,
Caillou Rod. I'm trying to remember what his channel is now, but it used to be Caillou Rod. He lives in Dumaguete area. Let me see if I can find him. Rod Tolton. But anyway,
Well, that's where Gio is in Dumaguete.
yeah. Well, Rod's been there for a long time. His wife, when they met, she was working overseas in, I believe, Hong Kong, and they got talking somehow, and she decided she wanted to go back to college, become a nurse, and so Rod decided, hey, that sounds good. When your contract's up, I'll go to the Philippines. We'll get married, and you go to nursing school. And that's what happened. And trying to see if I can find his channel here. He hadn't put anything up in a long time.
Well, see, part of the reason why my girlfriend, like staying in the Philippines, isn't such an attractive option, because I still need to work for a few more years.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. Plus, I'm
She can't find a decent job in the Philippines, and it's always costing her a fortune to send her 2 kids to school.
Well,
Yeah,
like I said-
schools seem to be very expensive over there.
Well, they're not state funded. I bring them to
Well-
the United States; they can go for free.
Right. All you have to do is buy them uniforms, probably.
No, not even.
Well, most schools.
he's talking about here in the States. Would be public schools. What he's talking about.
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah, but
public
even
school. We don't have uniforms.
The public schools here in the United States, most of them do now have uniforms.
We do not have uniforms here.
Well, you might not there where you're at, but
We
all
don't my
over-
area.
all over Arizona and all over Texas, they do.
We're more liberal in the north.
Yeah.
Now the private schools, some of them have uniforms. A lot
Yeah.
of them have uniforms.
I don't agree with uniforms. I've had that discussion with a lot of people, and they'll say, they'll say, well, that way you can't tell if a kid comes from a rich family or a poor family. Yes, you can, because all you gotta do is look at the damn clothes. Those things are gonna be a higher thread count. They're gonna be a sharper color.
All you got to do is look at their cell phone. Look at the sneakers. Look at the
their
shoes they're wearing. Yes.
Yeah. So
that's a big one, Lenny.
the idea that they're all wearing the same clothes, it saves kids from getting picked on. That's bullshit. That's nothing but
bullshit. There.
Yep.
It's all about control, and I love how everybody's all about drag queens and flipping out about drag queens.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can tell them all, well, why you guys are wasting time talking all about this? People are getting shot with AR-15s, and we don't talk about that.
Well, the thing is, most Republicans, I won't say all, but most of us would like to see the teachers and armed guards at the schools.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Let's arm teachers. Sure, Larry.
Well, a lot of the schools.
I'd rather have the teachers armed, and then when somebody comes in with a gun, they can't defend themselves. Yeah, let's just let anybody with a gun walk into a school and shoot whoever they want because
let's arm all the teachers. Wake up.
You definitely have to train them. And there's some
More
teachers
guns, just bring more guns, Larry.
And there's some teachers who would never be qualified to use a gun.
Thank you.
But what I don't understand, all the schools that my kids went to, they all had armed guards.
They should have.
Yeah. Nowadays,
we only have armed guards in the high school level. The elementary school level, they just lock the buildings down much better. The only thing more guns get is more guns. Let's have sensible gun laws.
Well, yeah. The
only thing with gun laws, when you take the gun away from the illegal citizen, is criminals are armed and the legal citizen isn't.
Yep.
Not true.
That's all you do. That's all you do with gun laws.
And you take Larry's right. You take the guns away from the average citizen, and the only people that are going to have guns are criminals.
Nobody needs an AR-15.
Well,
Nobody needs. I mean, Leonard, in Texas, you're legally allowed to walk through the supermarket with 2 AR-15s or more on your back, and all the bullets.
No, you're not.
Huh?
No, you're not. You're allowed to walk. You're allowed to have open carry, but that doesn't mean a assault weapon on your back.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not. It actually specifically does not allow that.
You can
Remember, he
open carry a long gun in Texas, and that's an AR-15.
Well, an
and
AR-15 is a long gun, but it's an assault weapon, and it is specifically not allowed for open carry
remember
in
where
public
he lives,
places.
Ed. Remember where he lives.
Remember, Larry, I know the law, and he's not accurate.
They just passed that law, and they spelled it out word for word, right there for everybody on the daily news.
It's all over
So,
the news tonight up here
yeah,
on the
Yeah, but
national
up
news.
here they
right.
have a tendency to exaggerate.
Yeah,
CNN's carrying it without exaggerating.
Oh,
I doubt
bullshit.
that. CNN is as bad as Fox.
Oh yeah,
You can,
if they're
you
on, they're
can,
on the they're on the left and Fox is on the
you can
right, they
open
both
carry an
exaggerate.
AR-15 in Texas. You can open carry one in Florida. They're passing a law that you can open carry now in Georgia. They're doing it for the Carolinas.
Ed, open carry does not mean assault weapons.
Even any weapon you should be able to open carry. I
I
need
would rather,
I need a
Ed,
license to get down the street and go fishing, yet I don't
Ed,
need a license to
I
go
would
buy a
damn
gun.
sure rather see the gun on you openly than have you hiding it
Hey
where I
Dan, have
can't
you
see
been
it.
listening?
Wow, Dan, you got back. Hey, man,
No,
Minnie.
he's at Duncan. Hi, Minnie. How you doing, my Minnie? Hello.
Enjoy that coffee. I gotta wait till morning for me to have some.
Yeah, it's too late at night. Uh-huh.
Yep, they're
What
going
kind-
to diet.
Is that your Bavarian cream?
That belly of yours is going to get bigger. Man, Minnie, you need to tell him he needs to cut back on that stuff. He's getting fat.
That's true. Actually, I'm holding strong at 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I passed that on the scale a long time ago.
Well,
When we get back to Cebu, we'll make sure we do the one meal per day thing.
well, and the one meal per day thing is good, but you want to change what you're eating and cut way back on the carb. You don't have to totally eliminate them, but cut way
Well,
back. Try to get
Maybe I
under
could do McDonald's hamburgers and throw away the buns.
Yeah. You can
What do they call that? Dirty keto diet, something like that?
something like that. What
Yeah.
you can do, at least here at McDonald's, you can order just the patties. So we
Oh,
don't
you
have
can
to
what?
go away. Yeah, you can order them just the patties.
Hey, you know, if you throw them a curveball like that here, they won't know what to do. So sorry,
Oh, I
sir.
know. You'd be a major
Not
meltdown.
available.
I know.
Not available, sir.
Yeah.
My oldest sister, she'll have an open faced sandwich and just not eat the top bun.
Yeah.
Leonard, I got a question
That
for
might
you.
work.
Okay.
In Texas, are you allowed to carry a semi-automatic pistol?
Yes.
Can it be an assault pistol?
I haven't seen that part of the law. Probably.
So your AR-15 can be set up snub style.
Ed, it's still a rifle, not a pistol.
No, it's a short pistol because you took the rifle stock off the back and you got a 6-inch barrel on the front. It's not a rifle anymore; it's a pistol.
Well, they actually don't. They don't sell those.
Well, you buy the parts and assemble it yourself.
Well, then that's the same as a ghost gun, and they're outlawing those too.
No, it's not the same as a ghost gun because your receiver still has all the serial numbers and everything.
Yeah. I don't know on that one. I'm not 100% sure.
And you're not allowed to sell ghost guns, but by federal law, you're allowed to manufacture them.
Well, it's like you can own a lot of stuff, but you can't use it.
I don't know how that works, but yeah.
I don't know either.
But they're just out of hand with all this gun stuff.
the biggest thing they're out of hand with is I believe that every citizen should own a gun and know how to use it. If that was the case, there would be much less gun violence. These guys
There
go to do
would only be more guns. There's more violence always.
That's not true. That's 100% not accurate.
Well,
That's been
name me
proven
a country with more guns in the United States that has less violence.
Show me a country that's got more guns than the United States. There isn't one.
Right.
So that's a comparison you can't make.
One of the most militaristic countries in the world is Israel because they all have the army requirement.
Right. And they all got guns. And they all have guns.
And there's still a lot of violence.
Well, that's because they're being attacked all the time from outside countries.
Well, everything, but more guns is just more violence.
No, that sounds like a real far leftist bullshit story. It's not true.
Look at the Canadians.
Yeah.
No handguns, and no AR-15, no assault rifles, and
they have handguns and they have assault weapons.
They have them, but you can't cross the border with a handgun.
Well, no, of course not. You can't bring any kind of gun across the border unless you have special permits and everything. Like if I was to go hunting,
you can bring long guns to Canada
if you have a special permit.
Yeah, hunting permits.
Right. If I want to go to Yukon Territory and hunt with Jim Shockey, I could do that and bring my gun. And I could bring a handgun if I was going to. That's legal.
I don't know. The whole gun thing's a mess.
No, it's less about the guns than it is about a bunch of. Actually, majority of these people that are doing this stuff have been indoctrinated through online games, and they're being what do you call it? They're being brainwashed by terrorist organizations.
A lot of these people doing this are under the age of 21. If they would just raise the minimum gun purchase requirement to 21.
Well, I don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that. It used to be.
I guess Dan didn't like this conversation. He dropped out.
Because.
Well, he waved. I guess something was going on. He had to leave.
Well, he's out drinking coffee.
Yeah.
And having a donut.
Yep. He showed the donuts.
Yep.
But you know.
Hey Eddie, how you doing, man? We got.
Hey Eddie, how are you?
I just saw that he came in.
So. Yummy Dunkin' Donuts, Naomi says.
Oh God, I could go for a Dunkin' Donut.
I could.
I could go for a chocolate honey dip or a butternut.
I could go for a.
I like a big bear claw. I want a big old bear claw.
I used to make them.
Yeah.
I like the cinnamon roll or the cinnamon. Eddie's
the bear claw's got cinnamon and sugar on it. So.
What's happening?
Hey Eddie.
How you doing, Eddie?
Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Somebody got another phone.
No, that's somebody calling me off of Facebook, and I'm not answering it.
Oh. Hey, that's part of the Ed Posse there.
I do not answer calls from Facebook unless it's from somebody I actually know.
Right.
I do not know this person.
So I'm chiming in because of the talk that you guys are talking right now about guns and what to do about it. Right now, my opinion is that they're not going to be able to do much about taking the guns, but I wish they would, instead of doing that, I wish they would do what the Philippines are doing, and that's put guards up, in the schools and banks.
That's what gets me. In Arizona, in Phoenix when I was there, and in here in Houston, when my kids were going to school, there were armed guards at every one of those schools. I've got a
Absolutely.
friend who was an armed guard at one of the schools.
I know guys that work security. I won't say they were armed. I don't
That
know.
didn't work in Florida, Leonard.
Why didn't it work?
Why?
Yeah.
Because when they went in and started shooting the school up, the armed guard hid in the bushes.
Well, there's not much you can
Was
say
that
about
Florida?
that.
Yeah, but that's
And it didn't
that's
work.
good,
It
yeah.
didn't work in Texas in Uvalde either. They
There
had
was no
350
armed guard.
armed police that would not go in.
Those police messed up.
Yeah, but you know what, Ed? That's rare, though. I mean, I don't think that would happen often. I mean, you're going to get somebody who's brave enough to stand up against a gunman. I
There were
believe that.
350 of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's poor policemen.
Yeah, it is poor policemen.
Oh, I
Because
know, but
if
I
you
just say
think
that's a
about
lot
it,
of people.
Here, just a couple of weeks
There are a
ago,
lot of
there
cowards
was
in this
another
country.
similar. What's
Let's
that?
be honest about it.
What?
I said there are a lot of cowards in this country, and sometimes
Yeah.
they're in one area.
Oh, yeah.
What nobody wants to touch on is nobody needs an AR-15.
What you don't want to touch on is what right do you have to tell me I can't have one if I want one?
Exactly.
You don't need it.
I have an AR-15. I have handguns and shotguns and 30-30s, hunting rifles.
Yeah,
I've got all
I
those
do-
guns.
I
I
don't
have,
have a
I
gun.
have had in the past.
I don't
myself.
have a gun.
They're locked up in it. They're locked up in the safe.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
locked
that's
up in
a
the
good
safe.
place for 'em. And I was raised with every kind of gun you could imagine but an AR-15. We had them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't own a gun, but I don't. The only thing I don't care as long as the person buying it buys it legally.
Right. They do
Right?
the bad.
And like Edward was saying, like Big Mac Daddy was saying, on certain guns, there ought to be an age limit. The more firepower, the older the person ought to be to
Yeah.
buy it.
I don't have a problem with 21 for.
How about a
assault
safety
weapon.
training?
I
You
think
have
I'll be required to. I'll go with
It's
that.
required. Yeah, it's
In New
required
York, it's
usually.
required. If you want to carry a gun in New York, if you want a permit to carry a gun, you have to have safety training.
You want to
There's
you want to
nothing
buy
wrong with it.
you want to
Back when my dad was in school, they'd take their rifles to school and had gun safety in school.
Right.
Nobody got shot.
That's
They
okay.
should-
Well, my dad
They
was
should
little.
do that.
They
should
didn't even
do
have
that now.
mittens in the snow, Larry. What's the difference? That means nothing.
It means how the kids behaved. The kids behaved better back then.
Well, obviously, but that's a whole
Kids-
different
That's what I'm
society.
saying. I
The
mean,
kids
it's
were
So-
taught
society
to
problem.
respect the gun. There were no accidental shootings. Nobody did all this stupid mass shooting stuff.
It really started in the post office when they were all going postal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
There
where
is
it really
something to
started.
that.
Well,
That Texas Tower shooting.
times have changed now. Times have changed, and
Yep.
I think putting guards up and metal detectors. Why not? They do it in other countries, and they don't have a problem.
No.
Well, like I said, back when I was younger, a lot of the guys that lived out in the country had gun racks in their trucks. And
That's
a lot of
what
times there was a
government
gun in
does.
there,
Yeah.
and there
Yeah.
was no problem with it. But
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you keep on bringing up
Society's
the
gotten
relevant
worse.
points. It doesn't matter.
well, yeah,
The
but you're
point
trying to
bringing
say
up
we can't go
doesn't matter.
back to being civilized.
Right.
I hope to think we can.
Yep.
I think it's the
Okay.
fruit. I think it's the fructose syrup, you guys.
I think so too.
Could be.
I think it's the
corn
fructose syrup.
It's high fructose corn syrup. You bet.
Yeah. Serious. That's some crazy.
Insulin resistance and way too much sugar in our diet.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm all for let's have guards everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't
And
have
I'll
a
tell you the
problem with
truth, the ones that should be the guards, retired police or retired military.
That's the best ones. Because
Because they've already been trained in weaponry.
Right. They've
Yeah.
already got the
And
weapons.
if they're
trained.
retired military, there's a good chance they've been shot at somebody.
Yep.
I want younger people.
Well, there should be requirement anyways for a guard. You see these guards that they have, this night security, you know, they don't have nothing but a can of mace on them because they're not licensed to carry a gun, or their
Right.
company doesn't allow it because of insurance.
I can't carry a can of mace. What are you talking about? They won't
No,
let
no,
me
I'm
carry
talking.
mace.
What's that? You're not allowed?
I'm a security guard. I'm not allowed to carry mace.
Oh, you're not? You're not even mace?
No,
What do you do?
no.
Just call it in and just say, hey, we got something going on?
The thing I can carry, and I have to carry it for work and not as a weapon, is a flashlight.
Yeah.
Get one of those three or
Mag
four
lights.
Big
mag
mag light.
lights.
So, Larry, yeah, that's not the kind of security I'm talking about, though. I'm sorry if you lose your job.
Yeah.
I'm saying that you work in a factory, and our factory voted to go on strike this past weekend. All right.
Yeah.
The vote was on Sunday, a week ago tomorrow. And they were worried about people going on strike and all the cracking down on security. I'm sitting there, I can't have a weapon of any kind. So
Yeah.
if somebody comes there and has a badge, they did, because I can't activate or deactivate a person's badge.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of control. I've worked at places where I did.
Hey,
Right.
in my
Even though
neighborhood,
the badge comes in and I say something, he's pissed, he pulls out a gun and shoots me.
hey, Larry, in my neighborhood, you want to talk about the old days? They brought in Pinkerton security and shot over 200 people
Yeah.
when they were on strike.
Yeah, you're talking about in the 20s and 30s or before.
Johnstown.
Yeah, but that was in the 20s or 30s.
Ed, where you been? I haven't seen you in a while.
I've been sick. I've been dealing with some lymphedema issues.
Oh, wow. You gotten better now?
I'm slowly getting better. I'm getting control of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen you in like a month
That's a
or
good
so,
start.
Yeah.
or over a month.
Yeah,
I've
been
Tim's
on
got
a
a good
few
point
times.
here, Dan, Mac Daddy. Tim's
What?
got a good point. He says, if gun control is so good, then why does Chicago have so many gun deaths?
I don't want to have all the gun control. I'm not for all the gun control, but we got to do something.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
But sitting
you
there,
take for
sitting
cities
there
like New
preaching
York
about
City,
the AR-15 is not the right thing to do.
Well, when we
Yeah.
had the assault weapons ban for 10 years,
It did
we had
no
a lot
good
you
at
less-
still
all.
had,
That's
you
why
still
they
had
got
a
rid of
lot
we
of
had a
shooting.
lot less problem.
it.
No, you had guys going in with sawed-off shotguns.
Yeah.
The Columbine shooting did not involve a AR-15.
Nope.
Hey,
No, it didn't.
what
And
about the
that was
guy?
a mass
What about the
shooting.
guy in the mall? The guy in the mall a while back, I don't know, it was probably in January. He came into the mall with an AR, and there was an armed kid, a young
Yeah,
guy,
Popped up in the
Shot
people
killed
and
him.
took them
Right.
out.
and he took him out with his handgun.
Right.
Yes.
Now-
That can
That's
tell
what
a
I said.
lot.
Now I have to say this.
Well,
I
he
don't
was
know.
trained. That wasn't luck.
Yeah,
Luck
yeah.
that he was there.
Kid knew how to shoot.
We're not allowed here in New Mexico. In New Mexico, I cannot go into the mall with my gun concealed because that's the way they ask for it.
Right.
So I don't go into the mall. Period. I won't go into it because if somebody does come in with an AR, I'm SOL because I can't protect myself from that.
Right. But the
Hello,
idea
Elvis,
that
how you doing?
taking guns away from everybody is
I
going to
didn't
cut
say
down the
take them
gun
away from
violence.
everybody.
Well,
It's just, yeah, that's not going to
They
work.
gotta limit them more.
Like I
Well-
said, I think stop focusing on trying to control the guns. Look at a sign with a big red cross that says no guns. They're trying to do that in Albuquerque here. It's not going to work. You're going to keep the
No,
bad
that's
guys
not gonna
out.
work
No,
either.
those kinds of things don't work. That's not gun control.
No.
There was a meme.
they know of us.
I don't know if you watch any of these memes, but there was a meme. They said, actually, I think it was a Babylon Bee. It wasn't a meme. They said, things to do to protect yourself if you don't have a gun. When the guy comes in and to rob you, the guy's got a gun and he says, this is a gun-free zone. So the guy hangs his head and walks away. Yeah, right.
Hey, you got somebody coming in from Bangkok, Noviz
I said hi to
Solano.
Yeah, I told her hi.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
Noviz
she just
pops
came-
in every now and then.
Yeah.
I haven't been
There's not an
around.
easy solution.
What's that?
I said there's not an easy solution.
No, and you're
it's
right. I
not.
mean, control is not going to do it, but
Oh,
I think the logical thing to do is to put guards up, metal detectors, even wherever you're going. You go to a mall, you go to a bank, you go to a grocery store. They check you in and out going to Mercury drugstore over at in the Philippines,
Yeah.
and they got 2, 3 guards in there.
yep.
So
I'm all for that. I mean,
I don't have a problem with that.
yeah,
like I
but
said,
they're not talking about it though. They're
I
not
want
talking
armed
about that.
guards.
No,
I want armed guards at the school.
I do
Yeah,
too.
yes,
I would like to see at least some of the teachers, if not all the teachers, armed, as long as they're mentally stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's got to be
unfortunately,
some kind of.
there's got to be a
And
test
you
for
can shake
that.
your head all you want, but if I walk into your classroom like that, whatever you want to call it, did at that Christian school with a gun and start shooting people, I want to be able to stop them. I think
Yeah, okay, that's all great, Lambert. Here's something else that you don't consider. What percentage of the teachers want to be armed?
I'm not saying they have to be armed. I said I want them to be able to be armed. If they don't want to
Right.
be armed, they shouldn't have to be.
And if they're going to be, they have to be trained.
Yeah, I agree. If you're going to carry a gun, you should have to have training.
Oh yeah.
Well,
40
yeah,
hours,
yes, but we don't have that here.
You want to legislate stuff, legislate that. Let's legislate that. Let's don't
Yeah.
say, hey, you can't have a gun. You want to carry a gun, you got to take a 40-hour class before you can carry that gun. And you got to take that 40-hour class for every gun you want to carry.
That's a
Well, I
little
don't know
bit.
if I'd go quite that far.
No, it's not. No,
Just
it's
jumped
not.
off the other end.
All right, not every gun. How about every kind of gun? If you want to carry a handgun, you take a class for that. You want to carry a rifle, you can take
Right
a
now,
class
I
for
can go
that.
down the street and buy I think up to 5 AR-15s and 10,000 rounds and walk out in 4 hours.
That's your state's problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
federal law.
because
too.
that's no, it's not.
No, it's not. That's state.
That's state only.
But You,
Ed,
you're
Before you
not
jump down
doing
that
that here
rabbit
in New
hole,
York.
I used to be
No.
an FFL licensee, so I
You're
know
not doing-
what those rules are.
You're not even going to get a
changed
pistol and walk
since.
out with it here in New York. You're going to wait a while. Federal law says you're supposed to have a background check
Yep.
if you go by federal law before
Yep.
you go.
And
Now,
that's all.
a rifle
that's-
or a shotgun, I don't think is considered the same. I know a shotgun is, but
Well,
if
they
you
all
want a
have to
pistol,
have background checks
you got to have a background check.
on
If
all.
you want to walk out with a pistol here in New York. Now, if you want to carry it, then you got to get it approved by the courts.
Yeah, you have to.
You can buy it without that approval, but you get
Right.
it's a lot harder
Well,
to
if you
get.
want to do a concealed carry here in PA, you need you need a county permit approval from the local sheriff.
Yeah.
Actually, you can get one out of Virginia, and it's good for 32 different states. Most of them are statewide, but you get the one I think is Virginia. Yeah, it's good for.
Oh yeah, you get one in
32 different
Pennsylvania. It's
states.
good all over.
I don't know about New York. New York is.
That's their money. They don't want to lose that.
Not only that, there are a lot more gun control.
And forget about trying to carry in California. They make you take the magazine out and put it in the glove box and the gun in the trunk.
Yeah,
What good self-defense is that?
yeah.
In New York, they wanted to pass a law, and they were really pushing hard for it. I haven't heard if it did or not because, like I said, I don't own a gun, so it doesn't apply to me. But they want to take a law and say, let's say you pass away, you got the guns, and you're going to leave it to your kids. No, you're not doing that in New York. They're taking the guns.
Mm.
Oh, is that right?
I don't think they'll pass that law.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Believe me, they called it SAFE Act. They were sure in the hell was trying. And they're talking about guns that have been in the families for hundreds of years.
Right.
Guns that
My
were
family
from the
has
1800s.
My family has guns that go back to the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, like I said, those
That's a
guns from the 1800s or something. It doesn't matter how long it's been in your family. The way New York was trying to do it.
And as
What's-
far as ghost guns go, in Pennsylvania, you can buy a blank receiver and manufacture your own. All I need is a jig and a drill press. And within a few hours, I'll have you an AR-15 receiver complete. but I know what I'm doing, in a machine shop.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I could do it, but I would be very slow.
Well, I would have to watch so many hours of a
A video on
YouTube
it.
channel to see how to do it.
Yeah.
YouTube has a video. It's not as
That's what I said.
complicated
I'd have
as
to
you
watch
think.
it. I'd have to watch it a few times because
The
I'm not
jig is what
machine.
makes it all possible.
Yep.
But like I said, though, I'm not machine literate when it comes to lathes and jigs and all that. So
I
really
haven't
have
used
to-
one enough to.
And
Even
part
I-
of it is
I have not used one.
you put a carbide bit in the drill press and don't turn it on, and you like put the jig in a vise and you just pull down on the handle and it carves the corner out with just a carbide bit. There's a few tricks.
Like I said, I wouldn't know what I was doing. I wouldn't even know what tool to use.
Well,
I'm
you can
not-
also you don't
I'm
need
not
any of that,
mechanically
Larry.
inclined.
I can get you a 3D printer. It'll print guns in your bedroom.
Yeah, that I can do.
You could have been
Yeah.
printing plastic guns while we were online tonight.
Oh yeah, but no, thank you. Like I said, I don't want to own a gun. I want the ability to own one if I want.
Yeah, I don't have any. It's
And that's
don't
I've
fine.
owned one gun in my entire life. Now I've been hunting. I went with
I
a
used to
410.
hunt. I always use my
With a
brother's gun
410. I used to go out shooting a lot with my cousin.
and my family. God, there have enough guns.
I owned a 22 long rifle. It's the only gun I ever owned. I sold it back when I was still in the Navy, and I haven't owned a gun. Now I shot guns in the Navy.
Yeah.
We had a Sears Ranger, if you know what they are.
I shot
What's
a
that?
50 caliber. I
A
shot a
Sears
M16.
Ranger, you know what that is, Leonard?
I
I
couldn't hear
shot
you.
riot shotguns.
We had a
40
Sears Ranger gun.
45.
Oh, the Sears Ranger. Yeah, that was a knockoff of the Winchester 94.
No. The Ranger. The
Yeah, the
20,
Ranger.
The 22 that looks like a BB gun.
Oh,
They used,
okay.
to, they used to sell for $6.95 in the catalog. It's a
Yeah.
child 22.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But like I said, I had to shoot certain guns in the service.
Well,
I had to be qualified with the 45, the service 45. I had to be qualified.
What's the big
Well,
machine
I
gun
would.
that they use in the service? I shot them, I know.
I've shot a 50 caliber machine gun off the fan tail on a ship.
They're kind of cool.
Yeah. And I've shot M16s and M1 carbines.
I
When
think I
was in
shot
boot
M1
camp.
carbine machine guns.
they aren't machine guns.
No,
There might be a machine gun that fires the same round.
Yeah, it's the same size. It's that size of round. I don't know what gun it was, but it was a machine gun.
an M1 was a rifleman's gun back in World War II.
Right. It was
That's how old the gun was. Yeah.
right.
This was like a gun that had like I want to say a little bit bigger than an M16 round, and it was a machine gun. They used them during the Vietnam War.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't have been an M1. An M1 was a 30 carbine, and
Yeah,
it
it's
was
not
this,
that big.
it was basically the same size as a 38 Special or a 357.
Yeah,
Only
this
a
looked
little-
like
a little smaller.
this looked like a 308 shell.
Oh yeah, that would have been the
And it had a tripod on the front of it. We shot it
Right.
at the Army Reserve one weekend when they had
Had that
open
been
house.
the bar? What's it called? The bar?
it might have been, but that would have been a bigger cartridge, I think.
It wasn't a real big cartridge, and it had like you could set them up by
Hey,
hand.
Retro.
Hey, retro.
But like I said, though, in boot camp, we went to a shooting range, and we shot the M16 just so we could say we shot it because that's what they wanted us to do. Now at the firing range, to
Nice
qualify
fan.
or to see if they wanted to send you to shoot for a medal, which they didn't send me because like I said, I'm not much of a shooter. We shot with the M1 carbine. I should have shot at left-handed. When I went target shooting stuff, I was always better left-handed, but because I was right-handed, they wanted me to shoot right-handed. So that's the way I shot. But I was never a very good shot at all. Now with a 410 shotgun, I could hit the rabbit, no problem. I even got the head shot, not the body.
Yeah.
But
You know, I was watching old videos of Yosemite Sam, boy.
Oh
He
yeah.
was a character, boy.
Yeah.
Tootin' son of a gun.
Yeah.
oh, talking
They
about
had to
that.
get rid of all them cartoons. You can't have a
Do you
skunk that goes around groping women either.
Right.
Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew. And then that to be a woman. Because he did
Yep.
Sylvester the Cat when a white stripe got painted down his back.
Yep.
But they showed. You guys know who the Hodge twins are?
That sounds
No.
familiar, but I can't.
All right, it's a couple brothers. Some people call them Uncle Tom because they're conservatives. But they were showing a banned cartoons that are banned now, and one of them was Bugs Bunny. And him and the Native Americans or Indians at the time were in a gunfight, and he'd shoot boom, 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 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 1, 2, 3. Oh no, wait a minute, that's only a half because he's a half breed. You know that commercial. I mean, that cartoon couldn't be played today.
No.
Well, they had Bugs Bunny in blackface. That's why they couldn't bring back the Dick Tracy cartoons years ago when they had the Dick Tracy movie. Because of all the things that weren't politically correct.
Yeah.
Mr. Magoo, you couldn't have him today.
Yeah, no Magoo.
Yep.
I like Magoo.
I did too.
Is it too? Now you know what show did the guy that did the voice for Magoo? What TV show was he one of the main characters?
Oh shoot, I used to know that.
Yeah.
A comedy back in the '60s.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Gilligan's Isle. He was Thurston Howell the Third.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes, Thurston Howell. Gilligan's Eye.
Yeah, Thurston Howell the Third.
Yep, you're right. I remember it now.
Yep.
But if you look back, there's so much stuff that they had that you couldn't have today, like David Allen Coe. You couldn't play one of his records.
I
And
don't
he
know
was-
why.
Yeah, I don't either.
Why? Because he had all kinds of racist music.
I don't remember him using racist words.
I don't either.
You can buy his racist album. I've heard him. Oh my God.
Well, there may be some, but
And he
In
was
general?
right. He was a country western musician, and some of his early stuff you couldn't have. Trust me.
I don't recall it.
Well,
I
it
grew up
probably
with-
wasn't big mainstream, but it was certainly white supremacist stuff. It was amazing.
Well, there's white supremacist stuff all over, just like there's
Yeah.
Black Panther stuff all over.
yep.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
There's black music that if you listen to is racist,
Yep.
but they still play it because it's blacks that's making the music.
Yep. And the
I'm
blacks
sorry, you
will say
listen
they
to some of
can't
their
be
music, it
racist.
is racist.
Absolutely.
But because they're black, they can't be racist.
Right. Well, it's just like that sitcom that's on now, The Neighborhood. That is one of the most racist shows I've ever seen. But they can't call it racist because they're black.
Yeah.
And the one they're putting down is white.
Well,
Yep.
you know what was so funny? When I was in New York a couple years ago working as a chef, I went to Fire Island. And I was at Solitaire Yacht Club. And they put me up in an apartment, and with a couple of us were white guys, a couple of us were black guys, long story short. But I never realized how much black television was on TV till we went home one night. And they turned the TV on, and they're sitting there watching TV, and I'm in the bedroom watching TV, and you just could not believe how much different it was night and day, just by culture. I ain't talking anything else, but wow.
When I was in the Navy, one of my
Like two
on
different
shore
worlds.
duty, when I was on shore duty, my roommate was black. All right. Now everybody on shore called us the odd couple.
Yeah, my
If you
roommate
remember
was
that,
black too when I was living in this apartment, by the way. But I didn't care. We were cool together. We hung out.
like I said, well, they called us the odd couple, not because he was maybe partly because he was black and I was white, but mainly because, well, look at me, I'm dumpy, I'm a slob, you know. Oscar, well, he was always meticulously dressed and neat and very, clean, wanting to keep everything clean. And so he was Felix. I mean, in our attitude, and we got along great. We both loved the 50s and 60s music. We loved to party, and we lived on base, and it was a base of about 110 people, and we had the master at arms of the base of the barracks would come to each one of us individually. Now, if you have trouble, if you want, I can get you another room, and he'd go to him too and say the same thing. And I'm not saying anything. He said we're sitting there one day. He goes, Larry, he says, do you have trouble being a roommate with me? I said, no, why? He goes, well, I can't remember the guy's name anymore. He says he's always asked me if I want to change rooms. So he's asked me that too. I said I just ignore him. But we always had the best parties. We'd open up our door, and we'd have the blacks and the whites all come in and sit there, and we'd play, all kinds of music. And like I said, we played a lot of 50s and 60s.
Old time phone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, retro has a lot of retro stuff.
Yeah.
This one. Oh, here, let me show off the.
And so,
You turn your volume up a little, Retro.
but anyway, we would just have a great time. And
Sorry, my fan was on.
like I said, Jim and I got along quite well.
So I was just watching an old retro clip. Speaking of retro, a clip of what was it? You remember All in the Family?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Where
Carol
the Jeffersons and
Archie
And-
Bunker.
yeah.
and also not to mention who was also racist was Sanford and Son.
Oh
yeah, there were some.
Yeah, he was. But Mr. Bunker, Sammy Davis Jr. was on the show, the one that I saw,
That one.
and he goes to take a picture with him, and then he gives him a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bunker's just like freaked out because he got kissed.
Yeah.
But they, those things they can't show that stuff anymore.
Well, and the thing was, if you really
And there was
watched
nothing,
the show,
there's nothing wrong with it either. There was nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
like I said,
nothing
if
at
you
all.
really watched the show and paid attention to what they were doing, they were making fun of the characters they were playing.
Right. They were making fun of it.
It was all satire. I was a little guy when that was on, and my parents used to go get pizza for our family on Saturday night. We'd all sit there and eat pizza and watch Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you watched the show, they
And
were
then the Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons. Yep.
Archie was being Carol O'Connor was making fun of Archie the way Archie's character was.
Yeah.
It was showing how ridiculous in a entertaining way how ridiculous being that way was. And same
Yeah.
thing with Jefferson.
And Sanford and Son, he talked about Mexicans, he talks about white, he talks about Asian, and he made fun of them, but nobody got offended by it. I'm Mexican and I didn't get offended by anything he said when
Well, I love
Lamont would bring
Sanford and
his
Son.
Mexican friend over,
Talking about making fun. The one I always liked on Jefferson was I'm trying to remember the character, but they called him a zebra.
Who?
Well, the one white guy was married to the black girl, and they had a kid that was half white and half black.
Oh, yeah.
Either
The neighbors.
the zebra or Oreo.
It was, yeah, well, he called them the
Jenny
zebra couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, so it was entertaining. It
was. It was entertaining.
Problems. They were presenting problems that actually exist.
We know Helen Willis is Lenny Kravitz's mother and the rock musician.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, but what did you say about?
That was his mother was Helen Willits on the Jeffersons.
Oh, really? Okay.
But
People didn't know that one.
I didn't know that one.
And Mr. Bentley from the Jeffersons used to do cartoon characters as well, like
No,
Thurston
no.
Howell did.
Was Bentley on the Jeffersons?
He was the neighbor of George Jefferson. Mr. Bentley, the English guy.
Oh,
yeah, that's the white guy, Mr. Bentley. He's talking.
Bentley's the white guy. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Oh, there was Tom Willits too. Helen's husband, Tom Willits, was white. He was the fat
Yeah.
white guy.
Bentley was the English guy, wasn't he? Or he
Yeah,
was
the
from?
English neighbor.
Yeah, he was from a different country.
But like I said,
Those were the good old days. Those were the good old days, man.
Yep. Yep.
Life was simpler back then.
It was, wasn't it?
That's true.
Like I said, they were presenting actual problems
Then they had the
that
big
people
story.
faced. Remember, like Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah.
Remember when they got harassed because they were black in a really nice car?
Oh yeah.
And Lamont, wasn't that the son's name, Lamont?
Yes.
It was Will
Wilson's
Smith. I
cousin?
know that.
Huh?
The Fresh Prince of-
Carlton was his name.
Carlton. That's right.
Oh, yeah, Carlton.
Carlton, it's not going to happen, because he'd been raised in the Beverly Hills around rich people all his life. And then they got harassed like that. And so he understood it. Hey, look, sometimes this happens just because you're black. But like I said, it's presented in a way that it let people see what's going on. It wasn't like, hey, you're all this way, every one of you.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this goes on. You need to know about it. We need, we face it every day. Yeah, Burger King hat.
And you know what? I guess it depends where you grew up too, because I grew up in San Francisco, multicultural. We had Asian, we had black, we had Filipino, we had Samoans, we had Mexicans. I mean, we were multiracial people in school that, we all hung out. When it came to sports, we all came together. And when we were in class, we were together. But when we were in recess, of course, in high school, we hung out with our own kind, and that's the way it was.
Nice.
Well, like I said, when you say it depends on where you're from, you're really correct. Because in my hometown, we had blacks and whites.
Now you're just showing
Not too
off
much of
now.
anything else.
I grew up in Levittown, Pennsylvania, and when a few black couples bought houses in white Levittown, they had racial riots.
So, and that's what I'm saying is,
That's nice stuff there, bud.
Mr. Magoo.
And that
people-
was like the late 50s, early 60s.
I have so many radios now.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to start getting ready to shut it down because I need to go to bed in less than a half hour, so I gotta get some things ready.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get up a little after 5, man. I
Yeah.
gotta go to work.
God bless us all.
Yep.
So I want to thank you all for coming up. I want to thank everybody that's out there in the chat. Who's
right.
ever left. If
Nice
you
seeing
haven't given a
everybody.
thumbs up, please give a thumbs up.
He's out.
If you haven't joined, go ahead. And appreciate it. Hey, Marion, I'm sorry, I just saw you. I did not see Marion come in. I want to say hi to her.
I didn't either. Hi, Marion.
I just now noticed her. We had all been talking. Marion Salon.
Well, have a good night, you guys. Take care.
All right,
All right,
Jerry. Or Eddie, I mean.
Tell
Sorry about
Tell
that.
Joyce we said hi, man.
All right. Have you watched your videos?
I bet if she's put up one here recently, I haven't seen it, but I've been watching them.
Yeah, she's putting them up slow, but she's been getting them up.
Yeah, I've seen a couple, but I haven't seen. If she's got more than that up, I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a good night. Take care.
Yeah,
All
you
righty.
guys have a
Take
good
care,
night.
man.
Remember,
Have a good
we have more in common than separate us.
Yep.
That's true. So, like I said, everybody, I want to thank you all for coming. If you haven't given me a thumbs up, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't joined, please join. And I want to remind each and every one of you, be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. Bye, everybody. All right,
Good night,
guys.
folks.
I'm ending it now. Take care, guys. Bye.
All right, Larry. Thanks.
All right.
Leonard, I'll